All right. Hello, everyone. It is Saturday. Where's my music? Why is my music not playing? Hold on. Hold on. There we go. That's better. All right. Hello, everyone. Make sure you like the stream. Make sure you switch to live chat so you can actually see what everyone's saying. And of course, super chats. Activate the super chat jukebox. And the link to the Discord is in the chat and the description, as always. So let's see here. Let me make sure. Seems like I've had some issues. Here we go. So make sure the super chat jukebox is working. Here we go. Uh-oh. I'm sitting right in front of it. Well. There we go. One of these days I'll get this all worked out. Or maybe I won't. Maybe it's more entertaining when I don't know what I'm doing. So, the Saturday streams have started to become more of just a hangout thing. That's why I got the living room set up and all that, and have the TV, the phone set up here. Oh, here, a little preview of what we're going to be going over. Some of the stuff we're going to be checking out. My idea for this stream was, as you saw there, the U.S. National Archive. There's a lot of cool stuff on there, and I haven't done it as much recently. I want to start doing it more again, is just in general going over, some U.S. history stuff, hopefully in a fun and entertaining way. But, all the music that I've done, the albums that I've done, mostly are covers of, old American classics, stuff from some of it going back to the 20s, the 10s, and up through the 60s. I feel like we just don't get any of that anymore. Anywhere. It's mostly about how we're all demonic and, evil white people and America's bad and all that stuff. But that's not the case. Apparently, I've been told America's done some pretty cool stuff, and there has been really cool things that we should be proud of. Believe it or not. I know, it seems nuts. So, what I want to do tonight is I'm going to be placing votes in the chat for what we should watch. I've got a bunch of stuff pulled up here from, like I said, the U.S. National Archives. Some really interesting stuff. And actually, it can be pretty funny. Going back to the, 30s, 40s, 50s, and seeing what life was like in the U.S. at the time. So there's a few things. Eventually, we may do it tonight. I don't know. There's this whole series on the U.S. National Archives called Why We Fight, and it was from the early 40s, and it was a documentary series that was made about what was happening in the beginning of World War II. It's really interesting. Let me see here. The last installment was released in... Okay, it doesn't give me a clear date. That's how we're starting this. We're on top of it. But anyway, it's a whole thing, a whole series. Like I said, it's called Why We Fight, and there's a lot of interesting stuff. So like the first episode is called Prelude to War. Then there's where is the actual date of this? We gotta see this. It says production date 1942, but not exactly sure. Anyway, so it's got stuff, Prelude to War, the Nazis strike, Divide and Conquer, the Battle of Britain, the Battle of Russia, the Battle of China, and War Comes to America. It's I've watched some of it. It's actually really, really interesting. So I think that at some point we'll go over that. Those are actual. They'll have to be their own streams because these are actual documentaries where it's, an hour to an hour and a half for each installment. But that's not what we're going to do tonight. Tonight, we're going to dip our toes into this whole thing and see how it goes. So I'm going to put a poll in the chat to see what we should start with. A lot of interesting stuff. Like I said, a lot of it's pretty damn funny. So let's see here. Let me put on, to give you an idea of what we're talking about here, while I'm putting together this poll of all of these different videos. To give you an idea of what we're talking about, here's Killjoy. Some people may be familiar with Killjoy. If you're not, check this out while I'm putting together this poll. This stuff's awesome, man. It's just great. This says production date 1956.
This, gentlemen, is Archie, Airman Second as of the day before yesterday. And with that new stripe came a new assignment to a new base. As of the moment, he's really got it made. No more Cactus Gulch for Archie when he's off duty. From now on, he's going to be stationed right next door to a real town.
Man, my name is Killjoy, and I tell you, it's the greatest. A real soft touch, and when you hit town, you can make a landing with your flaps up. They know how lucky they are to have us around. And the dames. Oh, brother. On the line with the engine warmed up and wheels turning. For a real He-Man, they're ready, willing, and can hardly wait. They don't get around much. Does them good to find out how their town stacks up with the rest of the world. And listen, all right, when you know what you're talking about. Our guys are good for a lot of business. You're short sometime, just tell them to charge it. They know darn well you're good for it. They're a cinch, even if they start pulling some silly local ordinance. All you gotta do is let them know you're in the Air Force. You don't get pushed around by anybody, see? When it comes to quarters off the base, they got them, but good. Just the kind of a place for a bunch of guys who really know how to live. I tell you, man, it's a great town, and I know what I'm talking about. I was there.
Archie's going to be there, too, any minute. And he's really looking forward to it. A friendly town next door to an Air Force base can make life mighty pleasant. It's kind of strange, all right. But it happens. And when it does, there's usually a very good reason for it. It doesn't take very long for Archie to find out what it's all about.
All right, there we go. I put it in the chat. So we have Small Town Espionage, which is one of the movies from 1960. Says the film discusses Soviet spy school training and covers surveillance and audio contact. Then we have Face to Face with Communism, 1951. description is, the film tells the story of an airman in town on furlough who discovers an entire town has been taken over by communists. I feel like I'm living that life right now, actually. And then a film called Look Like a Whiner, which is military etiquette and grooming from 1971. I watched some of that. It's pretty funny. And then The Party's Over from 1976. It says, this film explains a situation in which Jackson Junior High School boys brought alcohol to a girls' slumber party. It documents the problems of peer pressure associated with alcohol. The film is meant for students in 5th through 8th grade. All of these sound fantastic to me. I'm on board with all of them. I have slightly screened a few of these just to see if they would be interesting, but I have not actually watched any of them. So we'll be watching them together. I have no idea what this is about. So while we vote and everything, we can continue our viewing of Killjoy Was Here to learn how to actually act as an airman.
It just doesn't seem to make sense. Then a couple of days later.
5 miles over the limit, fella. Where's the fire?
Gee, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
No in town, aren't you?
Yeah, I guess I am. You see, I was...
Okay, chum, you give me the ticket and I'll take it. Have some gum, chum? You're looking a little nervous.
Gee, I was only a couple of miles above the speed limit.
Those couple of miles are gonna cost you exactly $15.
Kind of confusing, isn't it? The people in the town were supposed to be so friendly.
It's just like I was telling you. You people haven't learned to live yet. Why, in my hometown, we got everything. And nobody pulls the sidewalks in at 9 o'clock either. Dames? Man, you don't know what good-looking dames are. Where I come from, they knock your eye out and they treat you right. They appreciate a man. If you've been around enough to know what I mean. You ought to be glad we're here. Look at the dough we spend in this town. And look at the protection you got. The least you could do is show a little gratitude. Take it easy, sonny boy. I'm an airman, and the name is Killjoy, see? Just remember who you're talking to if you know what's good for you, see?
It wasn't very long after that.
Man, look at that
Archie had
guy's
a little
epic
routine
beard.
maintenance done on his car.
That's going to be me one day. He's wearing overalls, too? Hell yeah.
Looks like I'm a little short. Do you suppose maybe I could pay you tomorrow?
Why, glad to do it. Anytime. Just stop in next time you're in town or send us a...
You don't have to worry about a thing, chum. The job is steady and the paydays come like clockwork.
Haven't had a yen yet, and I'm not gonna wait for any pesetas either.
Well, in any case, those attractive quarters off the base are still there.
Vacancy? Why, certainly, young man, there is one I can let you have. You
It
just
is
come
really
right
interesting to me
along
that
with
like most of this stuff is about being a decent person.
There you are, young man. It's all yours.
We don't have anything like this anymore, but I was told that at this time, America was just god awful. It seems like they actually kind of care about being decent.
It really is too bad for Archie, and for an awful lot of guys just like him. One character like Killjoy can certainly make life tough. All that Archie wants is to make himself to home in a perfectly reasonable, responsible way, wherever he happens to be stationed. And they would want him to, too, if they hadn't had the unhappy experience of meeting Killjoy. Archie's problem is all too familiar, because there's a character named Killjoy in almost every outfit, who usually gets there first and who uses his size 13 shoes to tread on the toes of the civilian population, fouling up the kind of off-duty contacts that help to make life so much more pleasant and interesting.
Very sorry, no visitor.
Voice acting on point.
You regret, monsieur. Reservation only. Scram, bud.
Man, the
Killjoy
Sphinx
was
itself
here.
doesn't want you to be there.
He'll do it every time, unless he learns that his actions are a tag that will be stuck on every airman. A character like Killjoy, braggart, brawler, deadbeat, drunk, and would-be Casanova, presents a tough problem to the Air Force and the guy who wants to get along. But it isn't insurmountable. Oh, he may have troubles at times, but he'll find that he can overcome it just by being himself and taking it easy. People are people all over the world, and by and large, they're pretty reasonable. He'll find that they'll respond almost every time, whether Killjoy has been there or not. As far as Killjoy is concerned, people who don't want him are entitled to protection. Guys like Archie have their own ways of helping give it to them and protecting themselves at the same time. They've learned the hard way about the kind of damage he can do, and they're showing him also the hard way that he won't be allowed to go on doing it. Some characters can only learn the hard way. There's no room for Killjoy, and the wider a berth they can give him, the better. Off-duty hours are too valuable to share with a character who's going to jeopardize them. He's been there first, too many times, in too many places. Neighbors around an Air Force base are entitled to official protection, too. And Air Force commanders will take whatever steps are necessary to see that they get it. A character who can only learn the hard way will be taught the hard way.
All right, have we got our first round of votes put in? You know, it's interesting to me the way that, you know, that this is portrayed as exactly the kind of thing that I felt when whenever I've been to Japan, is because I mean essentially what they're talking about here is, you know, whatever you do reflects on your nation, your unit, everything. You know, so you should be a good person. Do you see that? Does anyone actually feel that in the United States anymore when they go anywhere in the places that would be like tourist areas that people would want to go to in the U.S.? New York, L.A., Chicago? No, absolutely not. No one gives a crap about representing the United States in a decent way. And this was 1956. Like I said, I've been told by a lot of leftists that that was just one of the worst times in American history. which is just bizarre because they seem to be wanting to instill in everyone that be a decent guy. And not only that, but don't grope women, don't start fights, and generally people are decent regardless of their skin color, so don't just immediately act like an ass. The left would not agree with any of this in modern day America. So it looks like our first one, I kind of thought this was going to happen. The Party's Over, 1976 is the is the winner. I kind of thought this would happen, and I was secretly hoping that we were going to be able to watch this. I didn't even screen any of this beforehand because I just knew it would be fantastic. So, The Party's Over, 1976. So it says here, again, this is all from the U.S. National Archives. It says, this film examines a situation in which Jackson Junior High boys brought alcohol to a girls' slumber party. It documents the problems of peer pressure associated with alcohol. The film is meant for students in 5th through 8th grade. So we're all going to learn a little something. So if you're drinking alcohol on this Saturday night, we're going to do you some learning. And maybe as a 35-year-old man, you won't be bringing that alcohol to an 8th grade girls' slumber party, I guess. I don't think that joke's gonna play well on the repeat watch of this stream if anyone goes back to watch it. But all right, here we go. The Party's Over, 1976. 14 minutes and 38 seconds. Let's check it out.
Something's going on. Listen and I'll tell you all. Kids at Jackson Junior High are learning all about alcohol. Something's going on.
Well, I definitely 100% know what the next song I'm going to cover in the next Swamp album.
Well, first off, let's not
The
forget
alcohol
that there is
song
such
from
a thing as a
1976.
legal drinking age. And in many places, the buying or even the possessing of alcohol, liquor, if you're underage, can mean problems. Now, keeping that in mind, at what age do you think drinking should begin? Jennifer?
I think 18 would be a good age to start. You weren't even thought
Well,
about
Mark,
it.
why
It's already 18. I don't see any reason why you have to be that old. I mean, maybe for hard liquor or something like that, but beer or wine or something like that, I think you should be maybe 16. See?
Well, I think the older you are, the better, because besides your body being more mature and being able to handle it more, you're more mature. And you know how much you can handle.
Fred, do you really think that you're old enough?
Stupid. If you're old enough to drive when you're 16, then you've got enough judgment and maturity to drink when you're 16. I think it's...
I mean,
Does anyone else notice that these kids are supposed to be high schoolers, and they clearly are high schoolers, but they look like college students today?
They'll say each person is individual on it. Each person
Human beings do not develop the same as they used to. This looks like a college class in 2023.
Handle it to the best of their ability, as best they're ever going to. So they should wait till they're 18 before they try it.
Well, what's the matter, Cookie? Why don't you agree with it? Now, what's a good age?
20-year-olds look like this now.
You think?
Well, I think it depends on the individual. I mean, like, there's 30-year-old men laying in the gutter, you know. They can't drink yet either. I mean, 18 and 30, what's the difference?
You're saying they could be just as immature at
just
30
just
as...
immature as they are when they're 14 or just as mature, you know.
Okay, Ken?
People that are in the gutter at 30 are probably the people that started drinking when they were 11 and 12.
How do you know?
Well,
Man, that kid nailed it. Right on.
They weren't so...
I can vouch for that.
They started out being irresponsible when they're drinking, and they still are at 30.
Bobby, what do you think about that?
Well, 18 is a good age, you know.
maybe after you start driving, you know, that's one, you know, responsibility that you take on. So if you can take on alcohol,
At the same
18's
time.
a good age, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Well, I don't understand why kids want to start drinking in the first place when they know how, you know, how bad it can be.
People like that are ancient.
What do you mean by that?
Well, like, most of the accidents on the roads have been caused by drunken people and things like that, and it could really be dangerous.
Don't forget on
That teacher kind of looks like Red Foreman from that 70s show, doesn't he?
All right. Have a nice weekend.
Oh, Sarah, what time's your party tonight? About 7:30. Okay.
Hey, Cookie, how come you weren't invited to Sarah's party tonight? Sarah's having a party? Yeah, Nora said there are just going to be some girls and their parents aren't going to be there.
Oh, I wouldn't go to that if you paid me. That's kid stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I think somebody's jealous. Cut that out.
Hey, let's go to this party, too.
What do you mean? Crash it?
Yeah, why not? Hey, let's do. We know everybody there.
I'm in. Oh, I don't know.
Oh, come on. It'll be lots of fun. We'll just stop by for a while.
Well, okay.
Great, I'm going to bring me some brew.
Beer? What you gonna get?
Bring me some brews.
Rich old man's not looking. I do it all the time.
Cool.
Listen, I left out plenty of food for you kids.
Man, that kid definitely is way cool. You can tell.
Like that, okay?
Bringing some brews.
Girls to be asleep.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be late. Agreed?
Agreed.
Good night, hon.
Good night.
Right.
Hey, man, don't be doing that. Somebody might see us. Big deal. So I'm having a little beer. So what? Here's Sarah's. Come on. Wow, what a dull-looking party. People, they need us.
Hey, I'm not too sure I want to go to this. It's a dumb party anyway.
Come on.
Let's go.
Come on, Cookie. Just for a little while. Come on. Hey, Sarah, what's happening?
Sorry, school's coming.
We're gonna party with this girl.
For some reason, this video has 23 dislikes, and I want to have a word with those 23 people because this is hilarious and informative and awesome.
Well, just to mess up the place, and it can't stay long.
Okay, that's cool. Well then, since we're all one big happy family, allow me to provide some refreshments. Ta-da!
Hey, out of sight.
Courtesy of Freddy's fridge.
Hey, nobody said anything
Hey, out of
about drinking.
sight.
This is my house
Out of
and my
sight,
it won't
man.
hurt. Make you relax. Be real cool. So how about it? Want a drinky poo? Huh? Oh, come off it, Sarah. How about you, Cookie?
Yeah, sure, Freddie.
I'm not gonna lie, the language is.
Come on,
I'm definitely
everybody.
down with
Relax.
that. I say things are
Have some
gnarly all the
wine,
time,
listen to
so
some music.
far
Have a
out,
blast.
out of sight.
Let me ask you this. When was the first time that you ever tasted alcohol?
Dude, let's
Okay,
be honest.
Sarah?
That lingo is way better than what Gen Z has now with the you know,
Kentucky. My
uh,
mother gave me a sip of her champagne, but I didn't
cap
like it.
and
That was the first
drip and whatever. I don't know.
That's the first time you ever had any
Yeah.
champagne. Fred?
Well, I don't think you have to be at a party just to try your alcohol. I think, you know, like you do it anytime you want to. Like I did. See, my old man, he drinks a lot, and I see him opening the fridge all the time. So
Well, man, he drinks a
I guess I
lot.
was about 8 years old, and I went, you know, that's when I want a beer, so I went in the fridge and got it out, you know. So no big deal.
Tell me something, Ken. If you had children, how would you want them to first encounter alcoholic beverages?
If I had any control over it, like, I mean, I probably would, but I wouldn't let them go, like Fred said, go to the refrigerator. I probably wouldn't keep beer around where they could get it.
Did everybody first taste their alcohol except for Fred? Everybody else in the room, tell me, was it usually with the parents present or not?
Damn it, Fred.
Oh, yeah, when you first
Everyone except for
experience,
Fred.
I guess most everybody's had
The
their
delinquent.
parents around, you know, to give it to them.
Well, do you think there should be some sort of control or supervision over encountering alcohol?
Yeah.
I think the first
Speaking
time
of
you
which,
drink
what's
is
everyone
with your
drinking
parents, but
tonight?
I think first time you, well, me, first time you get drunk is usually with your friends and at parties.
Yeah.
That's when
Oh,
most
you mean if
yeah,
you have a party or something, if you drink alone, you might just drink as much as you want. You might overindulge or abuse alcohol, don't you think?
Yeah.
Isn't it wise to have your parents watching after you?
Yeah.
when you begin?
They probably would. I think, like, you know, at parties, at parties I go to, people don't really just drink it because they like it, you know. They drink it to get drunk.
So you
Really,
think it's better to
Karen?
drink
What kind
it
of parties
under
are you
parental
going
supervision,
to?
is that what you're saying?
Jeez.
Well, yeah, you want to abuse it
Degenerates.
in front of your parents, at least I would.
All right. Now, it seems to me, from what you've all been saying, that the following conclusion is true. That while drinking under controlled supervision of your parents or parents' friends may not necessarily be a bad thing, drinking alone, like Carla said, can lead to problems. But let's not forget that matter of the legal drinking age. Also, I think as the only adult here, I should present a view held by many adults.
Hey,
Perhaps
you know,
even
you're not
most.
really drinking alone
That even if
if
there
it's
were no
on a
legal
stream on
drinking
YouTube on Saturday night.
Kids your age simply can't handle alcohol.
I'm L. Crash Your Airplane Pilot, and I recommend L. Cheapo wine. Get nice and high, fly around the room by.
Man, sidewalks is for sissies. So if you want to lie in the gutter like a real man, try wino. Straight from the bottom.
Dude, that kid he's too cool. Way too cool. He needs to knock it off.
This is the nicest wine I ever tasted. It's the bestest wine in the whole wide world.
Man, this thing's almost empty. How much have you had anyway?
50 so much. The whole bottle.
No, she didn't. She just had a little taste. It was Carol. It was not. I didn't even like it.
It was Nora. Hey, she drank the whole bottle. Come back, you wino. What's the matter, you drunk or something?
Well, if it isn't Nora. Had enough to drink?
Oh, come on. I just tasted a little. I wanted to see what it was like.
Nora, what's going on in there?
Fred's getting a little drunk.
Oh, great.
Hey, remember what happened when Fred got drunk at the basketball game? He started a fight with one of the teachers.
Oh, wow. What should I do?
Call the police. That'll serve him right. No, call the neighbors. Ask them for help.
Don't do anything. They'll leave when they're out of alcohol.
Tell him to leave or else. I better go in there and do something.
Hi, enjoying yourself?
Oh, hi. Yeah, it's good food.
Yeah, Alice worked on this spread for 3 days.
Well, it's really good. It's a nice place.
Where's Don?
It's in the pool.
Come join us when you get filled up.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I just don't think school is the proper place for my son to be taught his drinking habits.
But he's not taught drinking habits, Alice. This alcohol project gives kids information. I know Sarah needed to make a decision about drinking. We're not always around.
Our son Stephen came up to me this afternoon, looked at the buffet and said, "Good, Dad. It's better not to drink on an empty stomach."
That's what I mean. They're learning. Give them some facts. Get it out in the open. Let them recognize for themselves what their responsibilities are.
I'm almost empty. Can I get anybody anything?
Oh, no, thank you.
No, we should be going.
We have to drive anyway. I told you about checking in on Sarah's party at our place.
When are you guys leaving?
Oh, come on, Sarah. We just got here.
Off me.
Freddie.
I just put in chat
Please go.
the suggestions for the next film, so let me know what you think
Get him out of my house.
in the poll.
Wait a minute, Sarah. Give me a second to talk to him.
I'm assuming they're all great.
Will you just tell me what I did that was so bad?
Sometimes you're a real bummer.
Give me one of your lectures.
I'm gonna give you a fat lip. That's what I'm gonna give you.
Hey, boo.
Damn, calm down.
booze
Ooh,
alone.
fat lip.
What kind of problems do the police encounter with minors who drink?
Well, Jennifer, much the same problems as they encounter with adults who use alcoholic beverages to an excess. Of course, alcoholic beverages do tend to lower the inhibitions, and the result sometimes is
Man, tell me about
conduct,
it.
such as
I am
rowdy
aware.
conduct on the streets or cursing or fighting.
Gin, green stuff, brandy, whiskey.
Hey, man, where did you get that stuff?
A gift from Sarah's daddy.
Put that stuff back. They don't belong to you. We're not allowed
Not allowed. Says who?
My
parents
What a
think you're when they
square.
find out about their liquor, Freddie.
She's right. Put it back and
Freddie
let's go.
is too cool for school and will end up with a DUI and be in prison by the time he's 26.
Hey, Nora, how about another drink?
I'm not
It's the
getting
price for
drunk like
being
you,
cool,
Fred.
man. Being cool. Far out, brother.
Can't you get him to stop?
Are you kidding? All I gotta do is try and he'll get a girl who doesn't care if he drinks or not.
Doesn't he know he's too young to drink?
He doesn't care, he does attack big.
What can I do?
I don't know, you're so smart, I thought maybe you'd know.
Well, you're in the class about alcohol, too. You know we can all get into trouble for this.
I told him that and he just told me I was crazy.
What was that? Oh, wow.
Dude, I'm on Team Freddie. Yeah, look at Freddie go.
Sissies. You know if it weren't for me, you'd all be having a pretty lousy time.
Leave my house. Right now.
Your house. Well, this is what I think of your house.
Freddie.
You are not cool.
Freddie.
Leave me alone.
Bring in the party,
You
man.
too. I thought you were my friend. I want another drink.
Now, what the hell is going on here? What the hell is going on in here?
Wait, that's it? That's where it ends? Wow. I guess back in those days that would have been a lot more shocking than it is today. Just the dad walking in alone, that's enough to say, look at the consequences. And I know for a fact that no one who follows this channel ever had anything to drink before they were 21. We would never do that. That is completely inappropriate. So it looks like Face to Face with Communism is coming out #1 for the next film. I don't know, guys. This sounds like a horror movie. I don't know if I can come face to face with communism. So the description is: the film tells the story of an airman in a town on furlough who discovers an entire town has been taken over by communists. A horror film on par with anything Alfred Hitchcock or John Carpenter could have made. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare to come face to face with communism. Subtitles on or off? I don't know. The subtitles are. We'll see how the audio quality is. Maybe we'll turn them back on. Dude, this is starting like an old Twilight Zone. I love it. It could happen to you. Or you. Or you. I didn't know it said that, but I'm telling it was that was what it was at the time. It could happen to you. Or you. Or you.
I'm Jim Conway. On a 3-day pass. Home's a little too far to go, so I'm just looking for a change of scene and some good sack time. And, well, maybe a little fun. I like this town. Quiet enough to relax. friendly enough to get acquainted.
All right, maybe the subtitle should be on. Let's do that.
Paper soldier? Oh, come on, you gotta leave me.
No, thank you.
Come on, you
Listen, kid. I'm on pass. When I'm on pass, I don't want to read nothing about nothing. Now run along. Tell your papers.
Don't tell me the news.
Okay.
Gee, thanks. Right on about it. Get your ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, Swamp in Print, read all about it.
I guess it's about 7 o'clock the next morning. I'm fast asleep in this room at the Decatur Hotel on the square. I don't know how long it's been going on, but...
This is definitely my kind of music. Absolutely. Holy shit. Yeah, all nuts. Look at that hammer and sickle. Incoherent grumbling.
If anybody wants to get me sleep, it's always these. How do you expect a guy to sleep with all that racket going on out there? You know, if you'd wised me up to this shindig, I'd have gone someplace else.
I thought you knew about it, Sergeant. It was in the papers.
Yeah. Well, if I was running a hotel, I'd have enough...
You got the mail ready?
There it is.
Is this everything?
Everything.
Okay, you'll get it back when it's censored.
Oh no, you'll get it back when it's censored.
Did that mail belong to the folks who are staying here?
That's right.
But, well, since when have they started censoring mail in this country?
I told you it was in the papers.
Now, just exactly.
I can tell you right now, every leftist in the country needs to watch this. I already know that for a fact.
It got me up. And anyone who gets me up when I don't have to get up is a... Brother, you just lost the customer.
Man, tell it like it is.
Number, please.
Oh, operator, would you give me long distance, please?
You know what's funny is when I was young, I was way into punk rock and dressed all punk rock and had a mohawk and all that stuff.
4902.
And now I find that I dress a lot more like this guy right here.
Do you have a permit number?
How things change. Wow.
A permit number? What's this?
All long-distance calls must be cleared with the Commissar of Communication and a permit number obtained.
Must be cleared with the Biden administration Ministry of Truth.
Commissar of
Come on.
Communications. It just doesn't make sense. There's something wrong with this town. Seriously wrong. He looks like a wrong guy, too.
I swear I have that exact shirt, those pants, and that belt.
I've got to see what's
It's hilarious how things change and yet stay the same. Oh man, that grit. I thought we were about to get a Twilight Zone moment. I thought that guy was about to narrate whatever was about to happen.
Both social and state. The private operation of hotels, banks, stores, and services will be permitted only at the discretion of the Council of People's Commissars. Any such operation conducted without official sanction is a crime against the state and will be punished accordingly. There may be some among you who will consider this as an encroachment on your individual liberty. Such people will have to be re-educated.
This must be some kind of a gag. With that phone call. That censored mail. Hey, who is that zombie up there?
He's one of the commissars.
What's he trying to do?
He's telling us that
We have no time.
we're not allowed to talk. We're only allowed to listen.
Inability to learn fast is sabotage.
I want to live in the country that made these types of films.
In plain America.
This is the America that I never knew,
In the Communist International.
but I always felt existed.
From now on, the welfare of the people's state comes first. Most of you misguided people have been living under a reactionary capitalist democracy for so long that you find it difficult to understand what we mean by the welfare of the people's state. The people's state is you.
Not me, brother.
Not me, brother. Not me.
You might be fooling some of those jokers with this people's state routine. But not me.
Not me.
Why doesn't somebody do something? Why don't they call the cops? Yeah, the cops.
Why would he think he'd be able to go to the cops? I mean, didn't he just see that the cops are in on this? I mean, it's the state. It's authoritarian. How naive of this young man.
Come here, you won't get away with it. People won't stand for it. As soon as they realize the extent to which you've taken away their liberties, they'll have a farewell speech.
not you too, Chief.
I guess so.
Oh, there's the one guy who was standing up to it, the police chief. Police chief. Police chief? The police chief. Sorry.
Now what'll I do? I gotta do something. Gotta get out of here.
Council expects it to be clearly understood that it will tolerate no interference in the execution of its public responsibilities. Any person hindering or delaying an officer of the people's state in the performance of his duties will be considered an enemy of the people and punished accordingly. It is the duty of all loyal citizens of the people's state to cooperate with the council at all times, to make any sacrifices which may be ordered for the benefit of the people's state as a whole. Remember, the future of the people's state is your future. You must think, act, and live for the state. The people of this community have waited a long time for the right kind of leadership. Now that you have it, remember that the people's state is your state only if you give it your full and unswerving cooperation in its fight for freedom. No one can get out of his duty.
Get out of here. Yeah. Roads blocked. Newspaper office boarded up. Bank seized. Maybe I'm dreaming all this. No. I gotta get out of here. But how?
No interference. Time is an important factor in the establishment of the people's state.
It's amazing how things don't change. They use different euphemisms now, but the whole thing, it's the people, it's the people. It's still the same thing. It's still exactly what these psychopaths in the U.S. talk about nowadays.
Demand loyalty to the community will be judged. Anytime a citizen doubts whether he's doing the right thing,
You call it freedom, you and your jackal? Who elected you to run this community? By what right do you tell us what to believe in and where to live? What makes you think you can tell
Damn,
us
now
where to travel,
that's a woman
and where
right
to
there.
work, what to read? We're Americans, and we believe in the freedom of the individual to make up his mind for himself. It's not the state that comes first. It's the people in it. And if you don't recognize the rights of the people, you don't belong here. Take your hands off me. Let go. Let me go. Let me go.
Hey, if our main character is any kind of man, that's going to be his wife soon.
All right, come on your feet. Let's go. Get out of here. Come on.
The defendant is charged with refusal to work at occupation specified by the Commissar of Employment. The defendant's attitude throughout has been inimical to the welfare of the people's state. Violation of State Code, Article 47, Section 6, Paragraph 4, respecting private ownership of commercial enterprise, engaged in retail sale and distribution of essential commodities without government permit.
Has the defendant confessed to these crimes?
Yes.
The defendant is sentenced to an indefinite term in State Labor Camp 14.
But I didn't confess. I didn't say a word. Is it wrong to sell bread? I demand that...
Oh, hey, Majin, what's up, brother? First super chat of the night. Don't worry, I paused the film. Man, this is actually really good. This is this is almost on the level of like some Twilight Zone. I can't believe that even things that were meant to be basically PSAs were actually really well done. Not like nowadays where they can't make a good film to save their lives. Even just for pure entertainment, they can't do it. Look at every single comic book movie. Anyway, Majin, what's up, man? Thank you for the super chat. Here we go. Super chat jukebox. Take it away.
Going to my mind's going blank now. What's happening? What, I can't remember. I'm gonna lose track. My mind's going blank now. What are you talking about? What the hell's going on here? Where the hell are we? My mind's going blank now. I can't remember. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What am I doing here? My mind's going blank now. Where am I heading? I keep forgetting I'm president. Where am I? No idea.
Absolute classic. Or as the kids say, an absolute banger of a track. Thank you for that, Majin. I appreciate it. That's what we needed to get over being face to face with communism. Now, back to our regularly scheduled programming.
If I could only get my hands on it.
The defendant is charged with conspiracy under Defense of the People's Act, Article 16, Paragraph 4, to wit, attempting to do bodily harm to officers of the state.
You confess to this crime?
What crime? Look, I don't recognize this court or those bunch of hoods you call officers of the state.
The defendant will confine himself to answering
Bunch of hoods. Is this guy a racist? Man.
Entitled to defend myself.
You appear to be a sensible, realistic citizen. Perhaps you went to the aid of that woman through a mistaken sense of chivalry.
Well, call it what you like. And it wasn't a mistake either. That woman had a perfect right to say what she did. And everything she said goes double.
The charge against you is very serious. If it's necessary to add
What an absolute badass this guy
go
is.
hard with you.
Treason? Say, if there's anybody guilty of treason, it's that zombie who's shooting his mouth off out there in the square.
Is there anything further to say?
I sure do. You don't seriously think you're going to get Americans to go communist, do you? Not with all those benefits you've been handing out. You know, the trouble with you and all your crowd is
You think that you can make people act like puppets while you dangle them on that worn-out string of ideas that should have been buried along with the guy that invented them.
Here, here.
You mugs are living back in the 19th century with the bustle skirts and mutton chop whiskers.
What an absolute
About as old
badass.
fashioned as my grandmother's corset.
You seem to know a great deal about us.
You ain't kidding. You just try pushing Americans around and you get just about as far as the creek. Sure, you find a few suckers here and there, the kind of guys that live by letting George do it. But you aren't going to fool anybody who knows anything about you. And remember some of those tricks you pulled over the last 30 years. And there's more than enough of us to take care of you.
I admire your spirit, but not your knowledge. Communism needs men like you.
As long as you do what we say, we need men like you.
I'm going to offer you the opportunity of swearing allegiance to the Communist International and the People's State of America. I advise you to accept.
In this way, though.
You'll be punished to the full extent of the law.
You want to know something, Judge? You and all your commie friends can go plumb to blazes.
Damn.
Powers invested in
Bro's going hard.
Defendant is sentenced to death. Sentence will be carried out at a time and place to be determined by the court. Leave the prisoner.
Man, he had no business going that hard on him.
Wonder if it made sense. The stuff I said in the courtroom. Sure quiet in here. Like a tomb. Maybe I'll be in a real one come morning. Dawn's usually the time they do it. Coyotes. Maybe they do their killing at night. Oh.
I honestly didn't expect to be this invested in this. This genuinely feels like some old Twilight Zone or something. This is awesome.
Everything closed tight. A ghost town. Like the place had been hit by the plague. Am I the only one left alive? Where is everybody? Maybe it's a trick. Any minute they'll mow me down. Fought for freedom. Wonder how many of them were out here this morning. Joseph Cerrito, Herman Cole, Abraham Davis, Thomas Davenport. Maybe they're dead. They've forgotten what they fought for. Feels like the end of the world. It's gonna be a commie world. I don't want it anyway.
Based beyond belief.
Well, why don't they get it over with? Nothing happened. I thought of my papers, my money. I had to get back to my hotel. The lobby was dark and the night clerk asleep. I was really bushed and I hit the bed. Just for a minute. Seemed safe enough for a little while. But I guess I fell fast asleep.
bright day when I woke up. And I thought, if they're gonna get me, let them get me in uniform. The only way out was through the
Hell
lobby.
yeah.
Something's happened to this place. Or maybe it happened to me. Maybe I dreamed the whole thing after all. Here's my key, room 25. You got the bill?
All right. $5, sir.
Here you go, $5 each.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Excuse me, ma'am. Very sorry.
Oh, it's perfectly all right.
Something's happened all right. The town looks just the way it did when I first saw it. Quiet, clean, friendly. Yeah.
Not to ruin the flow of this, but new chat poll is there for the next one. This is just about over. I've thoroughly enjoyed this.
Morning, Sergeant.
I
How you
didn't
doing
expect
today?
to dig this much.
Hey, that's your demand. That's right. I'm the judge that sentenced you to death. I see you're still alive. Yeah. Went fine. Better than we expected. In the papers all over the country by now. Next week's issue of Life magazine, too. Cigarette, Sergeant?
No, thanks.
You know, when we first talked it over, a lot of the fellas shouted it down. Said it wasn't necessary. A bunch of us thought it was. Always seemed to me no better way to show a community how it'd be if the communists took over than to act it out. Don't you think so?
Yeah.
Fella said I did a swell job with that legal language. My lawyer wrote it out for me. You did a swell job too, young fella. You looked as though you swallowed it all. Hook, line, and sinker.
Did I?
You certainly did. I guess they keep you boys pretty well informed. I could tell by the way you tore into me. Guess it's part of your training. I was wondering
It is
whether
a Twilight
showing
Zone
all the answers
episode.
The way you did was part of your training.
Oh, sure, sure.
Well, if all the people understood things the way you did, that stage revolution wouldn't have been necessary.
Well, we try to keep up with things. I couldn't tell them I'd been fooled. And maybe if I'd read the paper the night before, I wouldn't have been. But I did tell the old boy how the service keeps us in the know. When it was all told, I guess he understood that for all of us, military or civilian, it boiled down to whether you were sucker enough to want life as it was in the square yesterday, or whether you wanted the American. The country sure looked good to me that day. Better than it had ever looked before. I was thinking about that town and about the towns all over America, just like it. I'm wondering how many of them needed that kind of a jolt. I didn't think there were many.
How many of them need that kind of a jolt? Well, nowadays, pretty much every single major city in the United States. And you guys are killing me. Are you serious? It's a draw in the polls. 25% for each. Come on. One more vote. And, don't forget to like the stream. Don't forget to join the Discord if you haven't. Oh, yeah, I forgot I had this. Look at that. There you go. Join Discord. Link in the description. Look at that. Of course. It's... How could you do this to me, you guys? Super chats, support the channel, check out the merch. I just realized that I don't have my ads. Here. While I'm waiting for the... Oh, we got to vote. Okay. Don't be a sucker. Got to end the poll now before someone else votes. All right. But what I was doing is... since I forgot to do this before. I thought it was going to take a little bit longer for you guys to decide what you wanted. But yeah, super chats, activate the super chat jukebox, help support the channel. If you don't want to give money to YouTube, you can always check out the PayPal link also in the description, and of course the merch page. And I'm going to very soon bring back the Be Armed, Be Moral, Be Dangerous hats. But I'm also going to... There's going to be 5 or 6 different versions and shirts and different things. So it'll be Armed, Be Moral, Be Dangerous, and there'll be different guns on them. So you can get the lever action one with like a Glock or AR-15 or all the different things. So that will be coming out eventually. All right. Don't be a sucker. I think that maybe after this one, I might have... I won't do a poll at all, and we might have to just watch the How to Succeed with Brunettes, because I think I need to know this. 1967, How to Succeed with Brunettes. I have to know what this is about. And I have to know how to succeed with brunettes. There's a description. Is there a description for it? Let's see. How to Succeed with Brunettes, 1967. Records of the Office of the Secretary of Defense. Motion picture films and video recording on 4 decades of U.S. military. Well, so this is military related. Department of Defense. There we go. Scope and content synopsis. Proper and improper etiquette on a movie date and at a formal dance. I need to know how to score with brunettes. That's all I know. It is actually a matter of national defense to make sure that every serviceman gets a brunette. That's just... This is the kind of stuff that we used to know as a nation. That was very important. Listen, if they're out there fighting, but they can't score with brunettes, what is even the point? What are they fighting for? Why are they even fighting? Yeah, the blondes, they were, anyone can get with a blonde, It's, redhead is, it's blondes and redheads. We all know that they're basically whores. But the brunettes, they're hard to get. All right. Per the vote. Don't be a sucker. Produced in 1945. Wow, I thought I read it was 1954. This item was produced, the U.S. National... I thought this was 54. Apparently, this item was produced or created in 1945. Okay, I got that wrong, apparently. Dramatizes the destructive effects of racial and religious prejudice. Wow. A Nazi speaker harangues a crowd in Germany denouncing Jews, Catholics, and Freemasons. Well, that is a weird thing to throw in there. The Freemasons. I might agree with the Nazis on this one. It's goddamn Freemasons. All right, let's see. SS men attack Jewish and Catholic headquarters in Germany, beat up a Jewish storekeeper. Wow, this is going to be great. I have not seen this. I am 100% on board. Here we go. Yeah, don't be a sucker or don't be a sucker. This isn't from late 70s, early 80s of funk. Come on, sucker. Damn, sucker. Move, sucker. It's sucker with a hard ER. All right. That's just the way it was back then in 1945. Don't judge me. Judge them.
This looks like a fake, doesn't it? Well, it is a fake. But here's a fella who's willing to bet his hard-earned money on it. Henry here got on the train with $200. He couldn't see any harm in a friendly game of cards. What if the other men were strangers? And take Joe Collins. He's got a nice wife at home. But he met this girl at the bar, and she looked kinda cute after the first couple of drinks. There's a good old-fashioned word for people like this.
You
We
know,
call them
back in those days, people even
There
looked
are
good
other
while they were getting mugged.
people who stay up nights figuring out
What have we
how
done,
to take away
America?
what they've
Get it
got.
together.
There are all kinds of games and all kinds of suckers. Take Mike here, for instance. He's got everything, you might say. He's young, he's healthy, he's got a job. And he's got a country called America. It's a wonderful thing to have. America. Lots of room. Room enough to raise plenty of food. Big factories to make things a man can use. Big cities to do the business of a big country. And people. Lots of people. Enough to work the farm and build the factories, dig the mines, and run the business. All kinds of people. People from different countries with different religions, different colored skins. Free people. They can live together and work together and build America together because they're free. Free to vote, to say what they please, go to their own churches, to pick their own jobs. Yeah, Mike's got something, all right. He's got America. But there are guys
You know,
who stay up
I
nights
just realized I did not
figuring
intend
out
this,
how to take that away from him.
but I finally have my own Mystery Science Theater 3000. Fantastic. That's what's going on here. I did not. It was not what I was thinking when I decided to do this stream. But MST3K, it's fantastic.
Friends, I'm just an average American. But I'm an American. And some of the things I see in this country of ours make my blood boil. I see people with foreign accents making all the money. I see Negroes holding jobs that belong to me and you. Now I ask you, if we allow this thing to go
Oh,
on,
look at that Negro. He's
what's going to
upset.
become of us real Americans?
I've heard this kind of talk before, but I never expected to hear it in America.
This fellow seems to know what he's talking about.
Yes, he knows all right.
What's the answer? What are we real Americans going to do about it? You'll find it right here in this little pamphlet. The truth about Negroes and foreigners. The truth about the Catholic Church. Now, friends, these books are free. Paid for by real Americans who want others to know
Yeah,
the
Lobster.
truth.
Hans has heard this before, having said it many times himself.
Sure, why not? You heard what he said, didn't you?
Yes, I heard. But do you believe in that kind of talk?
I don't know. Makes pretty good sense to me.
I'm speaking to you as an American. And I tell you, friends, we'll never be able to call this country our own until it's a country without. Without what? Yeah, without what? Without Negroes. Without alien foreigners.
Wait, am I gonna get in trouble for this? Like, is YouTube gonna dock me for this because he's saying that he wants to get rid of Negroes and whatnot? Am I gonna get in trouble? That doesn't seem fair.
These are your enemies. These are the people who are trying to take over our country. Now you know them. You know what they stand for. And it's up to
Well, I
you
mean,
and me
the
to
U.S.
fight
National Archives was able to post it. Surely I can watch it, right?
destroy us. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
Before he said Masons, you were ready to agree with him.
Well, yes, but he was talking about... What about those other people?
Wait, he was ready to agree before he said Masons? The only thing I agree with him on is the Masons.
All of us.
What about you? You aren't American, are you?
I was born in Hungary, but now I am an American citizen. And I have seen what this kind of talk can do. I saw it in Berlin.
What were you doing there?
I was a professor at the university. I heard the same words we have heard today. But I was a fool.
What was I doing there?
I thought Nazis were
Well,
crazy people, stupid fanatics. But unfortunately...
you
it was
could call
not
me
so.
a doctor of sorts.
You see, they knew that they were not strong enough to conquer a unified country. So they split Germany into small groups.
My friends call me
They used
Mengele.
prejudice as a practical weapon to cripple the nation. Of course, that was not easy to do. They had to work hard to do it. You see, we human beings are not born with prejudices. Always they are made for us. Made by someone who wants something. Remember that when you hear this kind of talk. Somebody is going to get something out of it. And it isn't going to be you.
I gotta say, look at their chins.
Classroom theory.
I'm never gonna believe a man who has a weak
I saw
chin.
it happen.
Between the two of them, the old guy's got the
I saw
stronger
it first
chin.
in Berlin in 1932.
That's just basic,
5 young men
reality.
that I knew
I'm
were
sorry.
standing in the crowd listening to the Nazi speaker. Eric was a Catholic. Anton, a student of mine, was a Jew.
Did anyone else
owned a
notice that
small
men
hardware
don't
store.
look like this anymore?
Karl was a farmer. And Hans was an unemployed metal worker.
To all true Aryan Germans, I say it is time you inherited the nation which rightfully belongs to you. To you alone belongs the glorious destiny of the greater Germany. The Nazi Party will provide land for the farmer, work for the worker, and profits for the small businessman. Who is getting these things now? The Jew. The Jew who has stolen our nation and our birthright. Who makes all the money and takes all our jobs? The Jew! He must be shunned. He must be ostracized. He must be eliminated.
I feel like
And the
after this, we need to watch the
don't
Great
want our
Dictator
great nation
from
run
Charlie
by a
Chaplin.
foreign church.
It seems like we're in the
Germans will
same
know what to
vein.
do with these people when the time comes. They and their faith must be destroyed. Then there are the Freemasons. In Germany, we have no place for secret societies.
Goddamn
There may be
Freemasons.
only one society.
I look at he's got
and
his
that is the
Freemason
Nazi
ring.
Party. There may be no secrecy
Oh, yeah,
about that in the new greater Germany.
Back away from the
One by
Freemason.
one, he attacked each minority and he split them off one from the other. These men were all fellow Germans when they came here today. Now they were split into rival groups, suspicious of each other.
I'm not just
hating
talking about
each
the way that men dress now. I'm saying,
They were being
look
swindled,
at
all of them.
their faces. I mean,
But the
the
man who was
physiognomy.
really being
Men do
fooled
not look
was
like this in the
Hans.
United States anymore.
He
at
was
all.
pure German.
These look like
according to Nazi
actual
standards.
grown
To
men.
him, they promised
Which
everything.
this guy's probably like
he fell for
26.
You who are true Aryan Germans. will
Men
share
don't
the
even they don't even
glorious
get close
destiny
to
of our
looking like this.
fatherland.
They just look like
You are the
amorphous
pure
blobs
blooded, the
until
master
they're, you know,
It is your
80
divine
and then they
right
die.
to rule, and the Nazi party stands ready to put you into power. It is for you to command all Germany, and someday the entire world.
That's how Hans became a Superman. They gave him a uniform and they pumped up
Hans.
his ego. He wasn't just a little
Hans
fellow
the
out to work
Superman.
anymore. He was
Hans
a member
Kal-El.
of the master race. His wife couldn't quite understand. Even though he was a Superman, there wasn't any food in the house. Stupid woman. Didn't she realize that the Nazis were going to make jobs for everybody?
Stupid
There would
woman.
be plenty of food and clothing and a new house. Everything they wanted. The glorious future of Germany was to be theirs. And their children would someday rule the world. But his wife, silly woman, still wondered where the next meal was coming from. Hans
Yeah,
didn't
what a
like
silly
that kind
woman.
of talk.
Our
It was
children are
dangerous.
starving, Hans.
For that kind of talk, people should be put in jail. Hans had swallowed the bait all right. And these were the men who baited the hook. Why? So that Hans could come to power? Of course not. So they could come to power. They
Oh, we
would
got some
merely
actual
use
footage
Hans
here?
to help them get there.
Is that
He would do the dirty work.
is that Goebbels back there? I mean, man.
Tons and thousands
Well, this is
of others
actual
like
footage
him,
for sure.
all playing a sucker's game. They gambled with other people's liberty.
And there's the man
Of course,
himself,
They lost their own.
old
Nation
Adolf.
of suckers. Hitler needed these people. There was lots of work to be done. There were trade unions to be smashed because unions were organized.
I'm
and might
genuinely
offer
wondering,
resistance. There were many
is playing this not acceptable on YouTube? I mean, come on. Is it? I don't know. The algorithm just hears the words. It doesn't read context. Am I going to get in trouble for this?
killed. The Jews were not powerful, but they were a convenient excuse for all the nation's ills. And besides, a Nazi party member could not take over this man's stall. Hundreds of Catholics were put in jail because the Catholic Church had strength and could resist the Nazi drive for power. They had split the nation into 100 pieces, and then one by one, they had destroyed the pieces. Over these broken pieces, the Nazis rode into power. One party, one nation, one religion. These men had won their struggle for power. They now ruled all of Germany. But still they had trouble
Look
with
at
their
that
oldest
belly,
and
man.
most
Damn, what a
persistent
fat
enemy,
bastard.
the truth. They found that truth does not die easily. And so they decided to abolish truth. One great source of truth is literature. So they burned books.
Oh, hey, there they
20
are,
million of them.
burning all the books about
Many great men in
transgenderism.
Germany who were spokesmen for truth were jailed or driven from their country. Teachers, writers, scientists. Education was discouraged. In 5 years, college attendance dropped 53%. It was forbidden to listen to a British radio program or read an American newspaper.
Well, I think that
Nazi
most people
Germany, you
shouldn't
had to get
listen
your
to
information from
the
Dr.
BBC
Goebbels.
anyway. But,
He
you
knew
know.
what was best for you.
Sure, sure.
You couldn't see this movie or listen to this music. And you couldn't watch Joe Louis fight because the champion had black skin. He disproved Hitler's theory of Nordic supremacy. Albert Einstein, one of the world's great scientists, disproved that theory too. He was non-Aryan, so he had to leave Germany. His mind was dedicated to the search for truth, and the Nazis, having sold a lie,
Man, I think it's actually pretty
were
cool,
most
all the
afraid of
actual
truth.
footage they're using
the
in this.
church
I dig
was
it.
one force in Germany still strong enough to proclaim the truth in public.
No doubt is possible that we Christians are in a grave battle. Against us,
stands a faith out of blood. The battle signals range from cool repudiation to hate-filled causes.
This might be a reference that people don't get, but this particular thing right here, it looks like the religious group in the Planet of the Apes, the Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
From our fatherland.
This Catholic priest was arrested the following day.
I mean, I understand it's supposed to be Catholic, but I'm getting Beneath the Planet of the Apes vibes right now.
Also continued to try and fight for truth.
He who desires liberty for himself cannot deny it to others, lest he lose what he has gained. This is the great lesson the world can learn from Germany.
The Nazis put this man in a concentration camp. There were others who spoke for truth, and I am proud to say that educators were among them.
And what, may I
Wow.
ask, is an
Times have changed. Educators are not among the people who are speaking truth anymore.
what our present so-called authorities have to say about it? They say he is tall.
Oh yeah, Majin, that the bike there, I have that actually sitting right in front of me, right on my desk right now. I ain't no liar, you guys. Oh crap. I accidentally.
We're among them.
And what, may I ask, is an Aryan? I don't know myself. But let us see what our present so-called authorities have to say.
Oh, that's actually pretty easy. An Aryan, it was from a sci-fi book written in, I think, the 30s. What was that book called? The one that had the vril and all that stuff? That it's from a sci-fi book.
Blue-eyed and blonde. There is no Aryan race. And more important, there is no master race. There are people who may find these ideas convenient, but science cannot support them. There is no scientific proof that there's any correlation between a man's racial characteristics and his native ability or character.
Why are those like Nazis with their all arm banded up leaving listening to this guy? How did this happen?
We find idiots and geniuses. We find criminals and philanthropists. We must judge each man as an individual and not by the color of his skin or his eyes or by the length of his nose. Come in, gentlemen. Make yourselves comfortable. There are many differences between individuals. We each have different capabilities, different backgrounds, different views about what's right and what's wrong. Like the difference between me and these gentlemen who have just arrived. But that is not the difference in race. It is a difference in the way we think. Remember that. And remember that there is no master race. That is a scientific truth. Anyone who tells you otherwise is lying.
And so for all practical purposes, truth had been abolished in Germany. A lot of my German friends wondered what had hit them. How did it happen? Where did it start? It started right here. And this
Definitely
was where
feels
it could have been stopped.
the way they're explaining this definitely feels similar to what's happening in the U.S. right now. Where all of a sudden you start looking around and you go, wait, how did this happen? Where did this start? What is going on?
Together they would have been strong.
Wait, we've just abandoned all truth and reality? Jeez.
When that first minority lost out, everybody lost out. They made the mistake of gambling with other people's freedom. Now let's see how those bets paid off. Karl the farmer was gambling on a better life for himself. What he got was extra hours of back-breaking work, as much as 100 hours a week. He was forced to stay on his land and produce what he was told to produce, because now Hitler was preparing for war. For Heinrich, who owned a hardware store, the bet didn't pay off either. 104,000 small businesses were closed in 2 years. And for Hans, conditions hadn't improved any. He had a job now in the munitions factory, but he worked long hours for little pay. The working conditions grew increasingly bad. And even though he didn't like the job, he wasn't permitted to leave it. There still wasn't enough food in his house. Hitler said you couldn't have butter and cannon. So Hans couldn't have butter. And when Hitler decided the time was right, Germany went to war. Not by declaring war, but by a carefully prepared sneak attack. Once again, Hitler needed Hans to do his dirty work. Hans was an expert at brutality by this time, and Hitler had decided to use Hans and his brutality against other peoples, the Czechs, the Poles, the French, the Russians. But in the crucial test of war, Hitler's race theories didn't pay off. His pure-blooded supermen were defeated by the mongrel armies he despised.
I gotta say,
by the British at El Alamein.
The face-to-face with communism was better than this. I didn't realize it was just going to be a documentary lecture. I thought we were going to get an actual movie out of this. Face-to-face with communism was much better.
And then on D-Day by American soldiers of every color and religion, who smashed across the Normandy beaches and drove on through to the heart of Germany. For the misguided Germans who had swallowed the Nazi bait, the Nazi game did not pay off. The continent of Europe was strewn with millions of German bodies, pure Aryan bodies. Karl the farmer was left in the snow outside of Moscow. Heinrich stayed in Italy at Salerno.
Wait, they took out Karl the farmer?
And Hans, who was going to
this
rule the
act
world,
is unforgivable.
got only a little patch of Normandy that he could call his
If we
own.
didn't already kick their asses in the war, I'd be going there right now.
To us or to our country. We must never let ourselves be divided by race or color or religion, because in this country we all belong to minority groups.
Again, look at that guy's weak chin.
You are a Mason.
Weak chin.
These are minorities, and then you belong to other minority groups too. You are a farmer, you have blue eyes, you go to the Methodist church. Your right to belong to these minorities is a precious thing. You have a right to be what you are and say what you think, because here we have personal freedom. We have liberty. And these are not just fancy words. This is a practical and priceless way of living. But we must work at it. We must guard everyone's liberty, or we can lose our own. If we allow any minority to lose its freedom by persecution or by prejudice, we are threatening our
Oh dang!
own
I should have been putting the next
this is
the
not
next
simply
poll
an
in the
idea.
chat. I've been too invested in this.
Common sense. You see, here in America is not a question whether we tolerate minorities. America is minorities. And that means you and me. So let's not be suckers. We must not allow the freedom or dignity of any man to be threatened by any act or word.
Yeah, no,
Let's be selfish
I'm
about
gonna put on the brunette one.
Let's
I was
forget
just.
about we and they.
It feels,
think
you know,
about
while
us.
we're watching this about this movie about fascism, it just feels very undemocratic of me to not put a poll in there. But yeah, I need to learn how to succeed with brunettes. 100%. Absolutely. This one's not as long as the other ones. This one's Don't Be a Sucker was like 22 minutes, and the other one I think was like around 22 minutes. This one's shorter than that, but So we're going to learn how to succeed with brunettes from 1967. Though I'm now skeptical of all these dates since they seem to be different given the location of that you're reading it. And I've been looking at this thing on the because I'm getting all these from the U.S. National Archives, and there's one in particular. I don't know how if it's gonna be. I have no idea, but it keeps popping up and I keep seeing it, which is, let's see, what is it called? Walt builds a family fallout shelter. And if that doesn't sound like it's right up my alley, I don't know what does. But it is one of the longer ones. It's like 27 minutes long, which I guess is only like 5 minutes longer than Don't Be a Sucker. So I don't know. Maybe we'll do that one next, or I'll put another poll in the chat. There's definitely a lot of funny cartoons from like the 60s that are all pretty short. So maybe we'll do a run of those at some point too. We'll just go through a bunch of these shorter. Oh man. I'm looking at this one and holy crap. Some of this art looks like Super Jail. From Adult Swim. You guys remember Super Jail? Did anyone see Super Jail? Man. This is from the 60s, and some of it looks exactly like Super Jail. They do have all of the Private Snafu on the U.S. National Archives. We could watch that, but all of them together is like 3 hours long. I'm not going to watch 3 hours of Private Snafu, but we could maybe watch an episode of it, you know? Start at the beginning. Because there are a few things, like I said at the beginning of the stream, when looking at these different documentaries, like the Why We Fight documentary series that they have on there from the 40s. Maybe that's what we'll do. We can have a weekly streaming where we get through this documentary series of Why We Fight, all about World War II. And like the old film days, we'll play one of the Private Snafu episodes before each movie. That just sounds downright wholesome. Sounds like the good old days that I never even got to experience, but I still feel like I'm nostalgic for it. All right, here we go. How to Succeed with Brunettes from 1967. If I don't walk away from this knowing how to get a wife, I'm going to consider this film a failure. Let's see how it goes.
How to succeed in business, or with brunettes.
I'm so
or
ready
blondes.
for this. This is what I need.
They're all important
Wait,
missions.
or
Wouldn't you
blondes? I
agree?
thought we were here for brunettes.
Well, here's one way to tackle the brunette problem. See what you think. First of all, be late.
The brunette
That'll show
problem.
her you're a busy, important person, that you're
does
not too interested in her. Play hard.
Who has
to
a
get.
solution to
After
the
all,
brunette
you're
problem?
waiting for. This will make a great first impression. Then, laugh it off. Apologize? Oh, come on. Don't be a square.
And this is...
Okay.
Now
We're giving her. This is apparently giving the U.S. Navy dating advice.
By holding her coat just
I don't really understand this.
That's right. Next, be masterful, protective. Grasp her arm firmly and steer her down those steps to the car. She can see that
I
you're
love
the
it.
aggressive masculine type. What are you doing? Opening the door? You'll spoil your image. Oh.
What?
That's better. Sure, treat her as an equal. Women like that. Besides, if you're late, there's no sense wasting time on things she can do for herself. Let's face it, sometimes there's just not enough time for good manners. Right? Doors afford a continued supply of chances to make an impression on your companion. Don't pass one up. It's always good for a laugh and an opportunity to show off your leadership qualities. How? By leading the way, going first, naturally. That's the boy. Keep leading the way. Good naval officers always lead their men, or their women in this case. When you get
Wait,
to
was
your
this
table,
is this
sit
is this really
down
what this is? Is
immediately.
they're trying to
Shows
teach
you're relaxed. Help with her
teach
call.
Navy men how to get women?
Well, you helped her on with it.
How our
Besides,
armed
it's
forces
her
have fallen.
She should
This
have
is
checked it anyway.
fantastic.
Oh, yes. Make sure you're seated so you can see what's going on, too. Makes for a much more interesting evening. Now, here's perfect opportunity to demonstrate your independence. Remain seated. After all, it's not during working hours, and you are doing him a favor by presenting your date to him. On the other hand, she should be impressed by meeting a senior officer. No question about it. This young lady will be grateful for such a lovely evening with a charming person like you.
Absolutely.
That's one approach to the problem of how to succeed with brunettes. Suppose we consider another way.
I need an answer to the brunette problem. What is the brunette final solution? Teach me. Teach me, the U.S. Navy.
How about starting by being on time? Not just for a date, but for any social engagement or business appointment. This indicates you are a dependable, businesslike person, that the appointment means something to you. And let's face it, a good-looking girl isn't going to wait around too long for anybody. Too many young men on the prowl. Make it easy for her to slip into her coat. Hold it at the right height. That's being thoughtful. Watch the hair. If you muss it, you're going to lose points.
She is extremely good looking.
No,
I will
you
admit that.
don't grab her
I
arm.
need to find out how
You
to succeed
offer
with this woman.
assistance. If she needs it or wants it, she'll take your hand, or perhaps your arm. But once the need for assistance is past, she'll give it back to you. So don't be surprised. Yes, doors do offer an excellent chance to make a good impression. It's a way to show your respect for ladies, or your seniors, for that matter.
But this is genuinely just dating
Making things
advice
easier for someone
from
else.
the U.S. Navy
This is at the
to
heart of good manners.
to
and
the
in
Navy man.
heart of every gentleman. Besides,
What, man?
it's
What?
the way to
How our
succeed
world has
with
changed so much. This seems absolutely insane to me. I guess
Ladies
at one
first.
point this wasn't
It's an
insane.
old saying, but a good one 90% of the time. Of course, if you're entering a restaurant or something comparable and there's no maitre d' or hostess to lead you to a table, then you would lead the way and select a table. She'll expect you to help her
You know
off
what
with her
this is? To put it in
and
modern
arrange it
terms,
over the back of
exactly
the
what
chair
this is right
so
now
it's
is
not
watching
all
is
over the
saying that,
floor.
listen,
No,
if we're going to
she
have our
shouldn't
armed
have checked.
forces out in the
It is
world
common practice
doing
for a lady
things
to
and they're going to
wear
be
her
around
coat
people,
to
we
the
better
table.
make sure they're absolute
Although if she
chads
indicates a
and know how to
preference
get
for checking
laid.
it,
Because if they can't
fine,
get
too.
laid, that
There.
just reflects
has an
poorly
excellent view
on
of the
us
room.
as a country.
Good thinking.
We need
want her to have a
absolute
good time,
chads who know how to
and being
succeed
able
with
to see what's
brunettes.
going on will be half of the fun. If you have a visitor, and you probably will when you have a companion like that, stand to show your respect for a senior or a lady. This isn't just military etiquette, it's being a gentleman. And you present a man, even if it's the Admiral himself, to a lady. Respect again. It's his pleasure to meet her.
But you know,
In this
it's
case,
brunettes,
there
but
isn't
they
much
also
doubt
said
about
at the
it.
beginning, even though the title's
the
about
menu
brunettes,
with your
it
date.
said brunettes or
And if you have
blondes.
any
So
knowledge
this can
about
work
the
on blondes
specialties of
too.
the
Don't
house
forget.
Or no particularly good dishes, let her in on it. But once you have both decided, you do the ordering.
Well, that's another approach to how to succeed with brunettes. Looks like a winner, wouldn't you say? Let's take another typical situation. Going to the theater.
She definitely is a winner. If I could find
wrong
any woman who looks even close to her in this, I would basically propose to her on the spot.
Wrong side.
If she's not extremely overweight with green hair, I'd probably propose right there.
That means a door. And that means, yes, sir, this fellow's a born leader. One thing you can say, he's consistent, isn't he?
God, even taxis looked badass back in those days. We have no style at all anymore in the United States.
What's happening
None.
here?
Modern day has
The
no
girl
style
out
at all.
first? Well, I guess he boxed himself in by getting into the taxi first. Too bad, but he'll make it up. That's right. Pick the seats you want.
Shouldn't have gotten the taxi first. Disrespectful.
Whoop.
Wow, what a
Sir,
dork.
Sorry about that.
What a dork.
Now, settle down and enjoy the movie. Nothing like a little snack to add to the fun. And your neighbors will
Man,
love
this is
you.
the what not to do segment.
What do you say?
There we go.
through
Let's
this situation
let's
again?
get what
The
we
right
actually
way,
should
the
do.
way that's successful with brunettes. That's more like it. You walk on the curb side at all times, or on her left. And when you part company or meet a lady, a salute is the proper greeting or farewell. It's
Well,
the
to
same
all
thing
women.
as tipping your hat when you're in civilian clothes. Believe me, the brunette is impressed.
I actually genuinely do agree with the
Ladies
walking
first.
curbside with
It's
the
a
woman.
good rule most
You
of the
absolutely
time.
do that.
And
I'm
logical
not
if you
even. There's not even a
consider that the
joke here. I'm not
reason
even
is to
making a
make
joke.
things
Is
easier
in general, you put yourself in the position that is more likely to have physical danger. That's just a. If you're a man, that's what you should do. It's not even a joke here. Genuinely, that's what I'm saying.
The reason you go
That's how you do
first
it.
is to make things
If you're a
easier
man,
for her,
you sleep on the side of the bed that's closest to the door. You walk on the curb side of the sidewalk
gentlemanly traditions do.
in case you need to protect your woman. That's just how it is.
Not yours. If you want to make a good impression, be considerate of the other person. Adjust your preferences to hers. And if you feel you must nibble on something during the show, at least do it quietly, out of consideration for your neighbors. Well, you're squared away on how to succeed in restaurants and theaters. Let's take another situation. A small gathering in a home or officers' club. Uh-oh, I have a feeling we're going to see anything but the right way to do things. Anyway, the necessity for making and acknowledging introductions occurs frequently. It should be done correctly, but I wouldn't bet on it in this case.
Mrs. Rohr, I'd like you to meet Mary Jackson and Midshipman Williams.
All right, we have to take a brief break because one of our amazing viewers decided to go for the PayPal route instead of the Super Chats, which I prefer in general because your money doesn't go to YouTube. It gets directly sent to me, which of course I'm on board with. Obviously. But we have a Super Chat. So that means Super Chat jukebox, activate.
My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go.
It's always Alex Jones. It's always Alex Jones. I didn't intend it to be this way, but I'm also not upset about it. So you're just going to have to deal with it. Thank you for the Super Chat. Appreciate it. Now let's jump back into this. I need to continue to learn how to succeed with brunettes.
Perfect introduction. Man presented to lady. Looks as though he's going to wring her hand off, doesn't it? And who knows whether she wanted to shake hands or not. Of course, she had no choice. His hand was out quicker than a waiter's in a nightclub.
Oh, hello there. I'd like for these good-looking women to meet you. Mary, this is Mr. Pren. Mr. Pren, this is Mary.
How do you do, Mr. Pren?
Good evening, Mary. What? Oh, Mrs. Childs, Mrs. Rohr, I'd like to have you shake hands with the commander. Mrs. Childs, Mrs. Rohr.
It's almost
This guy's
unbelievable,
disrespectful
isn't
as hell.
it? This young man puts bad manners back to back. First, he calls a senior officer Mr. instead of by his rank. He still doesn't get on his feet, and he presents the ladies to the commander instead of vice versa.
You know, I was making the joke about how
to ignore the two
wow, they
ladies
used to
completely if
help
it
these
hadn't been
guys
for the
date.
commander.
But this is actually genuinely good information that no one cares about anymore. Decorum, etiquette,
because you do want to be
is actually genuinely important. It drives me nuts that we live in a society where it doesn't matter, where you walk around in your fucking PJs in Walmart.
Mrs. Rohr,
Yeah.
I'd like you to meet Mary Jackson and Midshipman Brown.
How do you do, Mary? How do you do, Mrs. Rohr?
How do you do?
Jack is in your husband's battalion.
Oh, another...
Oh, good evening, Commander. Good evening. Mrs. Childs, Mrs. Roars, Miss Jackson, this is Commander Pren.
How do you do? Meet you.
I believe he was aboard the Constellation when your husband was, Mrs. Childs.
That's how you succeed in being a gentleman and impress
Absolutely.
brunettes. Wait until
And
the
impress
lady
brunettes.
offers her hand. Then shake it briefly, firm but not crushing. You get on your feet for a lady, or your senior in rank or age. As a matter of fact, it's good manners to acknowledge an introduction to anybody by rising. Perfect. The senior
You know,
officer
this started
addressed by
actually
his
being
rank.
really goofy, and now I
You're on
actually
your
really think this is
and the
good.
man is
This
presented
is
to
actually,
the ladies.
I
A good way to
100% am on
remember
board with
is
this.
to mention the names of the ladies or senior officers first in the introduction. In the case of introducing one person to a group, just follow a simple practice. The single person is introduced to the group. If this group had been larger, you would have said, "This is Commander Pren," then ticked off the names of each member of the group.
Miss Heffron, Mrs. Kaufman, may I present Miss Heffron?
Miss Heffron, how nice to have you with us tonight.
How are you this evening?
All right, let's consider a more formal situation, the receiving line. It looks as though we're going to get a lesson in how not to succeed in being a gentleman. Let's see how it goes.
Hi, I'm Charlie Williams. How you doing? Mrs. Kaufman, may I present Midshipman Williams? Mrs. Kaufman, really a nice party. Glad you invited us.
Midshipman Williams.
Oh, hello there, Admiral. How are you? Nice party. Nice to see you.
Jack,
Mrs. Jackson.
stabbed you.
Oh, say, weren't you on the Salem, if my memory serves me correctly, during the Korean War?
Dear
Hello,
Mrs.
Mrs.
Jackson.
Williams.
He's making points with the Admiral, though.
You know, it is
But what
interesting.
about the
It's
girl?
like
He
the
went
Swamp
through the
Gets
line
Canceled
without even
segment that I
thinking
did,
about her.
talking about women being disgusting nowadays. Is
Give him much hope for any success.
the video showing like what was unacceptable now doesn't look unacceptable at all. You go, actually, I don't know, see what it is. And then when they show someone acting decent, you go, oh, now I see the contrast. The bar is so low now that the things that they show as degenerate, disrespectful behavior looks absolutely like a decent way to act nowadays. If someone acted like that, you'd be like, wow, look how respectful this guy is. I mean, seriously, it's crazy.
So if the hand is offered, take it, of course. That's a very simple rule. Just wait until the other person offers to shake hands.
Miss Jackson, Mrs. Kaufman, may I present Miss Jackson?
Miss Jackson, how nice to have you with us
Midshipman
tonight.
Brown.
Mrs. Jackson.
See you, Miss Jackson.
Midshipman Brown.
Have a good
Midshipman
time.
Brown.
This is the way to go through a receiving line. If an aide or dance chairman or some similar person heads up the line, you do not shake hands. Further, as in all handshaking situations, you wait for ladies and seniors to extend their hands before you shake hands. Your date precedes
You know what's
in
interesting
the
is
line.
I think
As
that
usual,
I
it's
think of
ladies
myself
first.
as I
You move through the line quickly
generally
with no
do
stops for
know
conversation.
basic etiquette
This
and
just
you know
isn't the time or the
decorum
place to be
in
talkative.
public settings.
Your
I've actually
remarks
never
may
heard
be,
that.
"How do you do, sir?"
I've actually learned
"Good
something
evening,
tonight.
Admiral," or similar brief
You do not
courteous
extend
comments.
your hand and you wait for
After
the
the
woman
line?
to do it first, and then you
Well,
engage because you're
let's
allowing
take a look.
her to. You know what they said,
Here's
yeah.
a beautiful way to
I genuinely
succeed
learned
with
something.
brunettes at a dance,
I know how to
party,
succeed with brunettes now.
Wherever you may go, leave her to shift for herself occasionally. She'll appreciate you all the more when you do return. Sure she will. When you are with her, be affectionate. Show her and the other people present just how much you care for her. She'll love it, if she happens to be an exhibitionist. And for goodness sake, don't let anything or anybody spoil your fun. Don't get stuck being a nursemaid for somebody else's date. Let him worry about her.
A good way to make an impression is to hold your partner tightly while moving all over the dance floor.
Now this is getting absurd.
Want to dance all night with you.
This
Shall we
is
rest for a while?
I'm not into this.
I feel as though I'm coming down with a cold or something. Maybe you could take me home.
Wow, what happened to the subtitles? That was weird.
And then there's the right way to do things.
That
Make
one
sure
I
your
actually
date has a good
genuinely
time. Meets and dances with your friends.
Awkward watching. That
At
was
other
inappropriate.
times, your place is with her.
That's the first one that I
Be
genuinely was like,
considerate.
no,
That's
no,
your
not
main
into that.
obligation. And if another young lady is left alone for some reason, stand by until her escort appears. Consideration for others, kindness. This is being a gentleman. Dancing. This is good duty, no question about that. Enjoy it, but be in good taste. Show
Every single
respect
one of
for
these
your
women
date and her
is
reputation,
just absolutely
and
gorgeous.
she will respect you.
What has happened to our country?
Success with brunettes or blondes,
What has happened?
or just about
They're all
anybody,
pot-belly
is
goblins
built
now.
upon respect. And being a gentleman is to command respect. How to succeed with brunettes? Be a gentleman.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. How to succeed with brunettes. Be a gentleman. I could have told you that from the get-go. But even I learned a little something, you know? I actually, genuinely, the whole handshaking thing, I'd never heard that. And it makes complete sense. I actually, I think I might apply that to my life now. All right, let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, do you want to have a vote, or should I just pull up the next thing that I want to watch? Do you want to vote? Would you like to have a say, or should I just keep it rolling? Keep it rolling. We got Walt builds a family fallout shelter. All right, yeah, let's keep it going. You know, face to face with communism. I genuinely would actually just watch that as a movie. I actually would just watch that. And I probably will in the future. That was actually really good. Okay, let's go. Let's see. I wanted to watch Small Town Espionage. I feel like there's some things we can learn from this. Cold War era Soviet spy school training, and the film discusses Soviet spy school training and covers surveillance and audio contact. This is actually something that I think is, I mean, I really wanted to watch this, and I guess we are going to now, because the votes be damned. This is a fascist dictatorship. I've watched a lot of archive footage, stuff that's from the Soviet Union, and then stuff just like from that era, the Cold War era. I think it's really interesting to watch nowadays, and to see the a lot of these things have a different context now. When you realize, especially when you watch old Soviet stuff and see the Russians and what they were talking about, and they're wanting to infiltrate the U.S., looking around now, if you are even halfway awake and watching this stuff, it's very interesting to watch, because you go, wow, they were right. they did it, son of a bitch. Even after the Soviet Union has fallen, we are still dealing with the ripple effects of this ideology and communism in general. We're and not still dealing with it as if like there's an actual concerted effort to get rid of it. It's prominent in the US. It's prominent. That's where we have all these psychotic people. The only thing that the Soviets didn't see coming was maybe how crazy the transgender stuff is. But there is actual archival footage of Soviets and people who, U.S. films showing what the Soviets were talking about, and from the Soviets themselves, saying that if they make the U.S. gay, than, make them homosexual, that over time the U.S. will just destroy itself, because if you destroy basic morality and basic common sense, the nation will collapse. It has to collapse. I think all these things, the Cold War stuff, is really interesting to go watch, knowing what we know now in 2023 and see this stuff, and you watch it and go, wow, they had no idea how right they were. It genuinely has happened. So here we go. Small town espionage, production date 1960, Soviet spy school training. Take it away, fucking Russian bastards.
Main Street. It's not so very different from thousands like it all over the United States. Smaller, perhaps, than some you've known, yet large enough to service the needs of the local population. It has a modern drugstore where you can find hundreds of items from aspirin and razor blades to Cokes and chocolate sundaes. As usual, it's the favorite hangout for the younger set, who spend their leisure time indulging in laughter, calories, and that...
Well, hey, Maja, were you not here when I brought up the fact that I was happy that suddenly I have a Mystery Science Theater show? Did you miss that? I don't know.
American institution, the jukebox. There's a department store. Featuring the latest spring fashions. A hardware store. They're offering a special on gardening tools today. A library. And a church. Strangely enough, its doors are always locked. But there are many strange things about this town. Even a casual observer would note the utter cleanliness of the streets and houses. He would also receive the impression that everything in town was brand new, as though it had sprung up overnight. A closer examination of the inhabitants would reveal that all of them seemed to be in their early 20s. Policemen, businessmen, mechanics. Even more unusual is the absence of older people and children. No matter where you look, there aren't any children. Yet the population seems large enough and busy enough. Most of the activity seems to center around the campus of a small college that is located in the center of town. As a matter of fact, the town is merely an extension of these classrooms. This is no ordinary school. The students here have been hand-picked from thousands of applicants all over the country. Although they may come from different walks of life, certain characteristics are common to all. They are brilliant and determined.
We turn now to the subject of motor travel in the United States of America. You will find that as you drive from city to city, that few Americans any longer use the centralized hotels which have been a part of their past. Instead, they use small places of residence on the outskirts of cities on the main highways, which are called motels, motor hotels, motor courts, and the like. But first, before going into this subject in more detail, we will see a short training film in which you will see demonstrations of devices which have been used successfully in the past, as well as some of the latest models that are available. Pay close attention.
This is a typical American motel. They can be found all over the United States. Since most Americans use automobiles as their basic mode of transportation, motels have become very popular. Because of the luxurious facilities that most motels offer, even those who travel by rail or air seem to prefer them to the ordinary hotels that are found near transportation terminals. As you can see, the interior of this room offers many opportunities for the use of surreptitious listening devices. A few years ago, the only devices available to us were tiny microphones, which could be installed behind the walls or under the floors. However, the installation of these microphones took time, and the accompanying wire made them susceptible to discovery. Today, we are no longer faced with that problem. To the unpracticed eye, there is nothing suspicious about this room. Nevertheless, these men are, for all practical purposes, speaking directly into a microphone. As part of the decor, most motel rooms display inexpensive lithographs enclosed in a simple frame. This one, however, is used to camouflage one of the simplest devices available. Enclosed within the frame, behind the print, is a complete battery-operated microphone and transmitter. There are no wires or buttons visible. The batteries can operate continuously for more than 200 hours and are easily obtained. The advantages that this unit possesses are obvious. A new picture can simply be exchanged with one already in the room, or if time permits, the existing picture can be utilized by inserting the transmitter kit into the frame. 3/4 of an inch is the minimum thickness of frame that is required for installation. Reception is usually excellent, no matter where the voices are located in the room.
On that production figure for DC, I have the estimated daily production of 3. What do you show unit cost at?
The estimated unit cost?
Second one down.
Is $5,245.
Not only can a conversation be plainly heard, but a permanent record made, one that can be used for future reference, simply by using this small tape recorder in conjunction with the rest of the equipment. The listener doesn't have to be close to the transmitter. He can be a block away, sometimes up to 1/4 of a mile away, if conditions are just right. A passerby would notice nothing out of the ordinary here. Just a motorist checking his route on a road map. Appearances can deceive. That hearing aid in his ear is actually wired to a tiny receiver, which allows him to hear what is being said in the motel room.
I think they should.
A permanent record of the conversation can be made under these circumstances just as easily as if he were hidden from view. The recorder can be hidden quite simply, as this man has done. There is enough wire on the spools to record continuously for 4 hours if necessary. Volume controls are simple to make. However, entry is not necessary in order to hear what is being said within a room. If the wall is so thick that the sound waves are blurred or otherwise indistinct, a long metal probe can be attached to the mic and pushed through the inner wall to the inside of the wall of the other room. The vibrations then pass from the wall through the probe to the microphone, clearly reproducing any sounds emanating from the next room. The contact microphone has other uses. Because of its small size, it is easily concealed and can be used even in public with success. It is a simple matter to lean against a telephone booth without attracting attention. The microphone is simply carried in a coat or trouser pocket and pressed against the glass. The conversation can be heard clearly by the listener. The microphone is used in conjunction with a receiver that may be located either on the body of the carrier or positioned some distance away.
Every single
These are
scene
only
has
a
someone
few of the
lighting up a
devices that are
cigarette.
available.
Just
Let's look at them
immediately.
again.
It's the beginning of every scene.
The picture frame transmitter. It can transmit all the sounds in an average room as far as 1/4 of a mile under optimum conditions. The contact microphone with different sized probes. It may be used with or without the probes and will faithfully reproduce all the sounds within an average room. Wristwatch mic. It will pick up a voice clearly up to a distance of 12 feet. The tie clasp microphone. Its range is also 12 feet. These small microphones will reproduce all sounds in an average-sized room. This wire recorder can operate continuously for 4 hours. The small tape recorder, which can fit into a shirt pocket, can record continuously for 1 hour. These are some of the tools of your trade, weapons of democracy. Learn them well.
Weapons of democracy. But, you know, seriously, if you followed this channel for a while and you know the music that I've done, and in general, you know, I got the Grandpa Jones poster back there, and the Terror from Beyond Space, and all the Route 66 and all that. From the beginning of starting this channel, I wanted to try to, I don't know, bring back Americana, man. Bring back real American culture, because there's a reason why I'm always complaining about, you know, the woke lefties and how they say that, you know, they hate America and all this stuff is okay. I mean, to a certain extent, I agree. You have a right to say these things, but there should be some balance to this conversation in general, because nothing is being brought up in support of this anymore. Like I'm still genuinely blown away by that Face to Face with Communism short film. That was awesome. Genuinely good cinema. Like, I was really surprised at how good that actually was. You want to have the progressives and you want to critique and blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. But you got to have the counterbalance. We got to be... We got to be still listening to this stuff and looking at it, because it is genuinely good. The music is still really good. I guess it's a, you know, I wanted to have a part of this channel be preserving and continuing to look at classic American culture. They've removed it completely. I mean, they really, you're not allowed to talk about any of this stuff anymore. Actually, wow, there's, it says the end, but apparently there's more to this. Okay, hang on. Let's I have something else I was going to go to, but let's see what is. For you Marvel fans out there, there's a secret scene at the end of the credits. Whoa, let's check it out.
After lunch, you will have an opportunity to try each of the devices which you saw in the film. We'll take each of them in turn, learn what makes them work, and then practice the different installations. It is now 12 o'clock. Class is dismissed until 1.
No, this is no ordinary college. The curriculum offers conventional courses in American history, geography and chemistry, plus some in photographic techniques, electronics, encrypting and decoding, and lab courses in the use of explosives. The students you see here had to pass some of the most difficult entrance exams in the world. They are a special group. They have
This is what colleges used to look like?
The rest of the town's
look at all of the
population is
videos
just as
I've done
special.
recently showing these crazy college
The
people
entire
protesting
town
and
is
how
a duplicate
fat and
of what you
ugly
would
and just
find all over the United
generally
States.
soft and disgusting
They
they
have
look.
modern stores, familiar brand
What
names.
happened?
The menus offer nothing but standard American dishes. The theater shows the latest Hollywood productions. But it's completely isolated from other population centers. And entirely surrounded by barbed wire and armed guards.
Son of a bitch, those communists. There's a gobbledygook on that sign. Get it out of here.
It's called Winitsa and is located in the central Ukraine, one of the southern Soviet socialist republics. The entire town is a huge school designed to train Soviet youth how to live, think, and react like their American counterparts. They drive American cars.
Wow.
And obey American traffic regulations.
Yeah, look at all
They
those
follow the
cars.
latest news of
Fantastic.
America,
What
from
happened to
sports to Hollywood
our
scandals.
society? Man. It's almost like
Their
what we need
English
is someone
is
to
not
make
only
America
flawless,
great
but they
again.
specialize in
Is really what we need.
And accents. All of the inhabitants in town are instructors. They coach the students how to conduct themselves. They're even taught how to buy like an American. The only genuine feature about Winitsa is the fence that surrounds it. Winitsa, School for Spies, Small Town, USSR.
The second end. Is this the real end? I guess this is the real end to it. No more secret endings. All right, so what are you talking about, Majin? Mystery Science Theater? Is that what we're talking about still? Man, I don't know. I just watch it. I have no idea. I am terrible with actors, musicians, names. I'm really bad with all. I don't know. I never really cared that much. Do you know how many times I watched movies before? Eventually, someone's like, "Oh, Johnny Depp was great in so and so." I'm like, "Who the fuck is Johnny Depp?" I just don't care about the names, I guess. I know who Johnny Depp is now, but it took a long time. I care more about the product, I guess, than the I mean, the creators are important, but the art itself, I guess is what I'm more concerned about. And I don't know, I'm just really bad with that. I mean, there's still to this day actors and actresses and musicians that I listen to all the time, and I could not tell you their name. Or, I watch their films and I don't know their name. It's like the actress who was in Prometheus, the new Alien movies. She's what the hell? She's from over there in Russia, Ukraine, whatever, in that area. The Ruskies. Can't remember her name. Seen her in tons of movies. I genuinely love her as an actress. She's been in what was it? Blood Sky on Netflix was a great movie. She was she was in that, and What Happened to Monday? That was a great movie that she was in that. No idea who the hell what her name is. But it's good, I guess, All right. See, what time is it? Oh, it's still early. The voting was fun, but I guess we've gotten off of that now that I've taken control. Let's watch Look Like a Winner: Military Etiquette and Grooming in 1971. And then we will follow that up with, this is one I did not add to any of the polls, but I was eventually going to, because I want to watch this. A film simply called Marijuana from 1973. That's going to be good. That's going to be great. I'm sure it's going to give vibes of Reefer Madness. I mean, those are great stuff. I'm sure Reefer Madness is probably in the U.S. archive somewhere for all these things we've been watching. I'm sure it's on their page somewhere. All right, let's learn how to look like a winner. Military Etiquette and Grooming, 1971. Oh man, it's groovy. The music's it's got me. I'm in. I'm ready. I'm super stoked for this.
Well, ladies, you've come a long way. No question about it. You have more to say these days about your education, your appearance, your occupation, and your role in life than any young women have ever had in history. Yes, you have a voice in your own destiny. You have it in civilian life as well as in the military.
The best part, I didn't, this blind date that...
That's right. There's a lot you can say and do about who you are, where you're going, and how you look, especially in the military.
It's about time. Come on, get up. Morning, how are you? I'm fine. It has to be a beautiful day out today. Yeah. I just feel so good.
I thought I heard you knocking around before, but
it's about military women. And already right off the bat, we're basically looking at a sorority room.
We all recognize the importance of good grooming and grace in uniform. The problem is, where do you start?
We're going to get up earlier than her. I know her secret. She just needs more time than we do. Get up.
With all the demands a girl has on her time, it's pretty hard.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute here. Let's hold on. Hold up there. Hold on there, Jethro. Wait a minute. Hang on.
With all the demands a girl has on her.
Well, son of a bitch. This, I didn't know that we had proof that transgender women have been in the military forever. You're telling me that's not a dude? Yeah, I mean, come on. I guess the activists were right. Trans people have been around forever. Come on. This lady's even got a little bit of a mustache going on, not to mention the eyebrows. And I mean, come on. Sure. Okay. Let's keep going.
You must have a strong desire to look as well as you can. A certain pride in your appearance. Then it takes a certain amount of attention to detail, hard work, and just learning the simple rules of good grooming, how to wear your uniform, and military manners. There are no lucky breaks or secret formulas. This is what makes it happen.
Genuinely still true, though. Not just for women in the military, but just in general.
It is the foundation.
Why does no one care
for
about
any
their
good
appearance?
grooming program
It's
you can think of.
really annoying.
This means many things, including a daily bath or shower.
I gotta have time to take a shower today. You know, it's funny how you get used to things. When I was at home, I never used to shower every day. Me neither. You know, I guess I was just like most people.
When I was at home, I never used to shower every day.
Yeah, I used to grumble about that all the time. No shower, please, Mom. Don't put me in
Man, this is a military psyop from 1971. Holy crap.
They feel it takes a lot of
I gotta
time.
pull up the modern psyop.
Actually,
after this, I'm telling you, it's right in the same vein, the modern psyop. Let's finish this. I gotta show you this after that.
And it is important. Soap and water is refreshing, and it's a fine skin conditioner. Another thing you learn in a hurry is you can't get by with a deodorant alone. If you want to smell clean, you have to be clean.
Hey, I'm gonna have to do something with his hair. It's a mess. Oh, it's not.
Well, I wouldn't go so far as to call it a mess, but she's right to be concerned. Hair care and hair styling are essential to good grooming, and nobody can be attractive with unkempt and poorly styled hair. This means the amateur hair stylist.
Do you think that there was similar videos like this for men in the military at the time? Where they made it look like a big slumber party, sorority party. You know, there was videos of the frat bros. I mean, come on, I don't think so.
Okay. And then what?
It's not that she doesn't know what she's doing. As a matter of fact, sometimes she does a pretty good job.
I guess this is the
Just that in
military
this
for women.
situation,
Wow.
Pretty good isn't good enough.
Okay. No, I don't like that. I'll do it in the middle.
No, I don't like
The middle.
No,
Okay,
no,
the side.
yeah.
But what about the back?
The selection of a hairstyle and the basic cut call for
They have
experienced
full-on
professional
salon in the military for the women.
Something on these lines. Since you have a heart-shaped face, let's pull the bangs over just a little bit like this, not too far down in the face.
Son of a bitch, that guy is dressed exactly like I look when I go to
Bring
church.
your eyes. How does that look?
Well, it sounds okay. There won't be too much on the forehead, will there? Because we do wear our hats most of the time, and we have a regulation we're not allowed to have our bangs show under the hat.
Well, what we can do in that case...
Yeah, this is supposed to be military etiquette. Oh yeah, for sure, guaranteed, guaranteed. The men, you show what they're going through is, you maggot, what are you doing? And he just gets the shit beat out of him. Get out of the mud, you maggot! And then we've got the Oh, we got the salon. You know, I make sure
The other
look
thing that we
nice.
can't ignore is the shape of the face, the length of the hair, and the texture of the hair.
I know what you mean. I've been through all of those wild-eyed styles, and now I want to find a style, well, that works for me.
That's the right idea. I want to tell you, a girl can look real good if she'll just remember a few things. First, she has to start with a good cut, and then the right style. If you start with a good cut,
Tell me about it.
you should be able to keep your hair looking attractive between visits to the beauty parlor. But try to get regular beauty shop attention to your hair. I suppose you've heard this before, but it's the truth. Cleanliness is very important for the hair. You have to know how to shampoo the hair and do it frequently.
Apparently these women didn't used to shower. So yeah, like you said, Vic, I see now. I see why we needed this this movie.
Hair coloring is another area where professional assistance is
Is that
needed.
a wig
Amateur
that
experts
Amadeus
rarely
Mozart
produce
would
the
wear?
best
I mean,
results.
what the hell is going on here? Amadeus.
Professional help is also needed in the selection and use of cosmetics. With all the products available these days and the many ways they can be used, a girl can really become confused. It makes sense, therefore, to consult a good cosmetician.
Oh, you think a girl could really become confused in 1971? Well, you just wait for 2023. You'll see how confused women can get.
Shape of my face and everything. And I want to find a style, makeup style, that'd be becoming with this new hairstyle that I've got. What do you think?
Well, my advice is usually pretty simple. I start by telling a girl that she's not going to get any place just by applying a lot of makeup. There's a lot more to
Damn
it than that.
right.
I know, I guess we all went through that stage. I know when I was
Another
younger, I
thing
used
that needs to be told to
lay
women
on and
nowadays,
cover everything up that was
stop with the
bothering me,
80 pounds of
But,
makeup. It's
I
not
used to walk around
attractive.
looking like I had a mask on most of the time.
Well, it doesn't work, not at all. As a matter of fact, it's exactly backward. The first and most important rule is just keeping clean.
Well, it's all so confusing. I mean, some people say don't use soap. Others say that cream is bad for your skin. Well, what I want to know is what is right.
There's no big secret about this. The standard cleansing creams are fine, and so is soap.
Wait, that's
and water.
not a dude? That wasn't a dude that they just showed there? That was a dude, right? For sure.
As a matter of fact, cold water is a wonderful skin conditioner. Like the good astringents and skin fresheners, it closes the pores and prevents the accumulation of dirt or old makeup. Makeup can do a wonderful job if it is used intelligently. There are no set rules about what to use or how to use it. Each woman is an individual and represents an individual.
This is military etiquette that we're watching here? This is from the military.
Emphasize a woman's strong points and at the same time play down her weak ones. The colors you choose for yourself should be appropriate for you. They should blend with the color of your skin, your hair, and with each other. The right cosmetics, skillfully applied, can make a woman appear more alert and alive. Now, if this is going to work, if you're going to achieve good grooming, the same kind of judgment and selectivity has to be used in every aspect of makeup. All the parts have to fit together. Hair,
We
skin,
as a society need to
eyebrows,
bring back the
fingernails,
idea of
everything.
pajamas like this. That's what we need to do.
What's happening, hon? Hi. Boy, my nails are really beginning to look
Who
like
is
a
this
mess.
whore with the mini skirt coming in here? This is the military, lady.
Hey, you like
What are
this
you
new color I
doing?
got?
Purple raspberry glow? Hey, wow, Sue. You're really swinging in there. But look, hon, you're not going to wear that to the office.
Oh, I don't know. No, I don't think Captain Mayhew would approve of that. I'm going to save it for Saturday night. You know, Tom really likes those new colors.
Tom.
This is cracking me. This is cracking me. Oh, this is from the military.
Really swinging guy.
You know, let's take art. I can wear about 3 coats of deck varnish on my nails. And Art, he wouldn't know the difference.
Once a girl gets to recognize what's appropriate and what isn't, she's way ahead of the game. For example, in eye care and eye makeup. Now, the right way here can be a little tricky. A girl hears a lot of talk about trying
No
for the
joke, the way
natural
this woman looks right now, way more attractive than that,
well, that doesn't mean
70s
the
whore that
shaggy
walked
look.
in.
It means maintaining the natural line and using the eye makeup that will enhance and emphasize the girl's natural strong points. There are no set rules for everyone, but there are some basic principles. Perhaps the most important of these are good taste and appropriateness. In most instances,
Genuinely,
this simply
I
means
don't
following the
understand. Like,
line.
this is from the military. This is what the U.S. military, the women that were in the U.S. military. This is what they were. Wow, I mean, how times have changed. So I got to read the description again. So let's see. It says scope and content from the U.S. National Archives. The original agency catalog description reads. Oh, geez, what is with this? This is like AI generated. Holy crap! Explains the important points of good grooming. Covers cleanliness, health habits, hairstyling, cosmetics, and tailoring. Well, you know, I'm all for it. Sounds great. I think maybe what I need is a little bit more context on what these women were actually doing in the military. Maybe having all these instructional videos on the grooming makes more sense if you knew what their roles were. I'm not really sure. But, you know, I can say maybe I'm a old school misogynist, but I'm not disagreeing with what they're saying in here. Less makeup, using the makeup to just kind of accentuate natural feminine features. I'm actually pretty on board with this. So maybe I'm an old school misogynist. Maybe that's all it is. I'm a misogynist circa 1971.
And contours of your face. Some women are just naturally thin. They don't gain weight no matter what they eat. Susan isn't one of those lucky ones. She has to be careful about eating if she wants to keep her figure. Sticking to a diet is difficult in the beginning, but it soon becomes a habit, and it does pay off. You will feel better, look better in your uniform, and move with more confidence and grace. Good physical condition is just as important as the balanced diet. This too pays off every time you
Wow,
put on
she
your
is
uniform.
gorgeous. Holy crap.
The last important factor is good tailoring.
We cannot perform miracles. The way some of the girls come in here, they're simply impossible to fit properly.
Some of these bitches are way too fat.
Well, I see that you have been watching your diet, and you're using a good foundation. Perhaps we can do something. It's a great satisfaction when I can do a good job, but I'm no magician. If a girl really wants to look like something, she has to help. This help requires proper care of the uniform. Fitting is only part of the story. This uniform must be laundered and pressed after each wearing. Now, the lightweight uniform and the wool uniform can be dry cleaned at least once a week. The skirt lengths we're using these days, a girl can look very smart. But again, she has to work at it. It's all
Can
up
she?
to her.
Can a girl look smart? I've yet to see it.
Good grooming and grace in uniform
Misogyny.
covers a lot of territory. Cleanliness, femininity, makeup, good health habits, and the proper fit and care of your uniform. A lot to remember and a fair amount to do, but they pay off in a number of important ways. They pay off in social acceptance, career advancement, and in personal popularity.
Personal popularity then shows her getting out of a car and a man,
all right. No question about it.
helping her
It
out of the
works
car with a
just
mini skirt
fine.
on. Personal popularity. What a euphemism. 1970. Even those days were better than what we have now. I 100%. That was. I'm on board with it. But as I said, this, I mean, maybe I'm using modern terminology here. That's all psyops. I mean, that's a way to get men to enlist in the military, even in 1970, where the women are looking nice, getting them to look good. Well, you should enlist, men. Hey, enlist. Look at the broads we got here. But this still exists. As I said, I was gonna show you guys this is the modern day version of this. The psyop to try to get men to enlist. There's this woman on TikTok that, what is her name? You've probably seen it. I mean, it's gone viral many different times and definitely all over 4chan. If you've ever hung out on the place of deplorables known as 4chan. Luhan. There you go. Luhan. The Fed honeypot. The Fed honeypot. It's she's known as this. I was getting the same vibes from that 1970s thing about getting women to look good in the military as what this is. There we are. The Fed honeypot, man. It's apparently it's going back as old as 1970.
Just some advice for the younger people. If you're not doing good in school, it's okay. I dropped out of college, and I'm doing great.
I have no idea what the hell is going on here. I'm not seeing this video. Okay.
I know everyone thinks that I'm just this bubbly little Dumbo, but I'm not. I know what's going on. I hear you talking about me. I see you. I know everyone thinks that I'm...
Wow.
My mom told me to just be myself and people would like me.
FBI, open up!
Happy St. Patrick's Day, guys. I've been looking around for somebody to pinch, but everybody's already in green.
And I guess I'll just miss her.
There, this is the modern day version of what we just watched. The Fed honeypot is real. Don't fall for the psyop. Don't fall for the psyop, guys. Don't fall for it. God, this god-awful music. Is this not the same as what we just watched from,
I'm literally just a girl.
He said I'm good enough.
It's just a grotesque postmodern psyop. And
Wait. Actually, that's a really good idea.
Woke M&Ms have returned.
Iris.
Yeah, you did it.
It's a fed honeypot. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. And apparently they've been doing this since the 70s. Late 60s, early 70s. Look at this. I mean, come on.
I am gonna kill Bill. I'm still a fan even though it's salty. Hate to see you with some other, but know you happy. And when I arrive,
This is what happens when recruitment numbers go down. It is. You're absolutely right, Majin. That's exactly what it is.
You're never too young to have a VA.
How did I end up here? My birth was for shock value. What if I fall?
Hear me out. I'm not a bad guy.
Gucci flip flops, fucking hit your bitch in my socks. This a big watch, diamonds dripping off of the clock. 2 to 6 out.
God, it's painful.
Vix and I could never fly an Apache after an hour of flight school. They've never had Echelon.
The reason I keep clicking through this is because I'm trying to find the video.
I'm not a bad guy.
She's got these videos where she's actually telling people that they need to enlist.
Hey guys, it's Luhan. I just did my 2-hour flight school, so I'm in the Apache and I'm about to take it for a whip. We'll see how I do. I think I'll be good, honestly.
Oh God, it's painful. Where is it? I mean, maybe it's sensitive content. Well, I guess we gotta skip that. This woman actually does work, like legitimately actually like works with psyops. It's a real thing.
Sorry, I don't.
It's the e-girl army recruiting.
I don't know what you expected me to do.
Oh God. How many Gen Zers joined the military because of this? Let's be honest.
Every time people...
Hey guys, it's Luhan. I'm gonna...
Oh, Jesus Christ. So I'm trying to find the video where she actually is like talking about you should join the military.
Unpopular opinion.
I bought that bitch a Benz cause she used to drive a Honda.
Oh, shut the fuck up with god awful music. Oh, I don't know where it is. There's a video that was going around all over 4chan showing the, you know, the side. Oh, here you go. Oh, further. I mean, this totally psyop. Watch this.
How about a motherfucking mukbang?
Damn it, did we went back to the wrong one?
How about a
Well, son of a bitch. Which video was it?
Son of a
Son of a bitch.
I'm
There we
literally
go.
in your house.
Okay, it is this one. Here we go.
How about a motherfucking mukbang? We got a beef taco. Son of a
Wake up.
I'm literally
Wake up.
in
It's
your
propaganda.
house.
It's propaganda. It's an e-girl in military uniform. It's propaganda.
I'm in
Wake up.
his
Wake
house.
up. Wake
Stop
up. It's
acting
propaganda.
like that, babe. Come back
Sorry.
to bed.
How about a motherfucking mukbang?
There you go. They've been doing this shit since the late 60s. Don't fall for the attractive military girl psyop. Don't do it. Don't do it, guys. See this? There you go. This was the old version of it. Don't fall for it. Come on. There you go.
Amount of
There you go.
attention to detail, hard work, and just learning the simple rules of good grooming, how to wear your uniform, and military manners.
That's what they do. They need the young men in the military. All right. Enough of that. No one thought it was as funny as I did. On to a film simply called Marijuana. See, when was this one released? Doesn't have a date. Fantastic. It says circa 68 to 73. You're telling me you don't have a date for this? More accurate than 68 to 73? Wow. I find that hard to believe. Let's see what the let's go to the National Archives catalog website. Dates. This, I don't know. It just says between 67 and 73. No one has a published date? The hell are we paying taxes for? No one's gonna I mean, come on. This is garbage. You're telling me no one knows when this was released? No one. Get out of here. Absolutely absurd. Why do we pay taxes? They don't even know the dates that they release their own propaganda. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue down this road of whatever the hell's going on, the U.S. National Archives, don't forget Super Chats. Activate the Super Chat jukebox. Like the stream. Send money to the PayPal. Send money or to buy merch or something. Mostly drink some more and let's hang out. All right, let's watch the film called Marijuana. With an unknown release date. Let's do it. Sonny Bono is in this film? Anyone else see that?
Jerry, try to make me lose it. Hey, Jerry, you gotta Who is it? Hey, come down. Shut up. Hey. Police officer, open the door.
It was Sonny Bono in a film that was anti-marijuana? I'm now incredibly intrigued. QRD over here feeling like it's given 1970s porn vibes.
Everybody remain seated where you are. Hey man, are you putting me on and you're not gonna say anything I want you to put on this film? Yeah. Then why isn't alcohol made illegal? Flowers and grass, like juice treat shit, hangovers and cirrhosis in the liver. Besides, grass isn't habit forming like alcohol is. Besides, that cigarettes are much worse. Right, man. Don't worry, I got right, man. You tell him. Hey, quit pushing.
I feel like that guy looks like he's about to tell me that the best thing about high school girls is he keeps getting older and they say the same age. They stay the same age. Come on, that's totally him. That's totally the vibe I'm getting.
Speak your mind then. Okay, I will. No one has the right to tell me what I can do with my own body, what I can eat, drink, or smoke. This is a free country, and no one has the right to take away my constitutional rights.
I didn't do anything.
I think it's terrible that the American people have accepted a law that makes smoking a harmless weed illegal. Marijuana is legal all over the world. There's no question about it. Marijuana should be made legal now.
bad, right, wrong. That's not where it's at in this film. Right, wrong, good, bad. Those are things for you to decide. Too many people have already decided for themselves, and you, whether grass is good or bad. What's most important is what you think. So without any preaching from this film, let's examine the facts and only the facts. There are too many false impressions and prejudices to do it any other way.
Okay, then why isn't alcohol made illegal? It's a lot worse than grass. Like, take juice freaks, man, they get hangovers and cirrhosis of the liver. Besides, grass isn't habit-forming like alcohol.
Right. The facts are, if you drink enough, alcohol will give you hangovers, cirrhosis of the liver, and what's more, it can even kill you. If you are a certain emotional and psychological type, you may become dependent both physically and emotionally and will join the 5 to 6 million known alcoholics in the United States. Now, what are the facts about marijuana? What do doctors and psychiatrists have to say about which is worse for you physically and emotionally, alcohol or marijuana? The facts are, at this time, there are no known damaging physical effects from the use of marijuana.
I'm confused. Is this a pro marijuana documentary? I thought we were about to watch Reefer Madness. I don't know what's going on.
Unpredictable and unpleasant bummer.
Okay. We are watching Reefer Madness. I'm on board.
The occasional drink before dinner by adults, like the occasional use of marijuana, does not necessarily lead to an emotional dependency in the stable, mature personality.
Sure, go ahead.
Great olive, yeah.
If you like that, I'm glad.
Good olives. Well, that's smart.
However, teenage is not a time of great maturity and stability for most teenagers. The pressures of school, parents, finding your own identity, and self-confidence set you up for a drug dependency that could just as well be alcohol if you preferred that to grass. Some adults are not mature or strong enough to stand the pressures of their daily lives. These adults can become just as emotionally dependent on marijuana as on alcohol, whichever is more socially acceptable and easier to get. Even when the alcoholic is physically withdrawn from his body's need for alcohol, he always goes back to it until he learns how to handle his problems. Just as the alcohol drinker who finds himself needing a drink more and more frequently is the warning sign of his dependency, so it is with the pothead. The more he needs the escape from reality or the pleasure of marijuana, the more he is becoming emotionally dependent, exactly as the square and unhip alcoholic adult does. Do two wrongs ever make one right?
Cigarettes are much worse than pot, man. No one ever got cancer, man.
That's right. It's a fact. No one ever got cancer from pot. But it's also a fact that no one ever dropped out of school because they were hung up on tobacco. And no one who just finished smoking a cigarette ever forgot she was driving a car as she tripped out on the beauty of a back road nature trip. And no cigarette pusher ever tried to turn you on to hard drugs or the needle. Another basic difference is that you can smoke cigarettes and do other things. You wouldn't dare to do this on pot. Or this. Or this. And would you rather your pilot had just finished a joint, not a cigarette? Or your surgeon operating on your heart? Your attorney pleading your case? Your sergeant? Your dentist? Your flight leader? Your team center? Your LSO? Your school bus driver? Your country's astronauts? Or even the guy who is just changing your front tire? Would you rather he was smoking a cigarette or a joint? However, neither your government nor any responsible person recommends smoking. So, 2 or 3 wrongs don't make one right either.
Everybody knows that weed is addictive. You can blow as much as you want. I'm hip.
And quit any time you want.
Blow as much grass as you like, and your body won't need it? Right. You can quit any time you like? Not true for everybody. And that's the problem. The World Health Organization of the United Nations, with its leading medical and psychiatric experts from over 100 member nations, has this to say about marijuana being habit-forming without one dissenting vote.
There's nothing wrong with blowing crap. Yeah. 1,000 times, and you'll never go to harder drugs.
That may be true for the great majority who smoke pot, but it's not true for the many thousands who have gone on to acid, amphetamines, barbiturates, and end up on heroin. However, it is not a fact that practically everyone on grass turns into a flaky drug addict. That's just not true. Every informed person knows this. What is true may be discovered in this Narcotics Rehabilitation Center in some of the group therapy sessions, where we will learn what former drug addicts have to say about marijuana turning them onto hard drugs.
How many of you started on pot before you started heroin?
I did. I did too. I did too. I did. So did I. I did. I did. Me too. Me too. I did. I did. So did I. I did.
I did. That means all of you used marijuana then.
Yeah.
I was 11 when I first started using it.
I was about 19.
I think it's kind of hard to deal marijuana because it's so bulky, you know, and you have to go through the trouble of chopping it up and cleaning it. I think it's much easier to deal heroin, you know, than marijuana.
Really, because, you know, all that bulk and everything, it's much easier just to have a small bag of balloon that you can carry, and then you can cut that up and get a lot more money for it.
You know, and all the trouble you have to go through with it, you know, like cutting it up, especially if you get a kilo, you know, you have to cut it up, then you have to clean it, you know, and then you have to roll it and box it, you know, and can it. You know, it's just a big, really big hassle behind it, you know.
That's why I think the dealers go on to dealing heroin and then get us to buying heroin.
I think if you smoke marijuana or take pills or get loaded in any way at all, that you will be accepted into the dope world and eventually you will have contact with this environment.
I definitely think that if you get loaded on marijuana, you are subjected to the environment and it does become readily available to you.
That's the way it is, man. You know, when you're around a crowd and you're all smoking weed and then they start using some other drug and you go right ahead along with them and you end up using it and get higher. And then the weed isn't good enough anymore.
And then you turn on to heroin too.
Most of you started smoking marijuana when you were introduced to narcotics.
I did. I started smoking weed. For me it was, but I wanted a different high, you know. And weed wasn't good enough, and I heard that heroin and stimulants, crystals, were a better high, and that's why I went to them, you know.
Yeah, I'm the same way, man. I guess a lot of people started that way. Speaking for myself, I did.
I started on weed and got burned out, and I needed something stronger, so I went to heroin.
Well, I started smoking weed, you know, because I was running away from something which was myself. And out of all I've run through a lot of highs trying to run away from myself: heroin, LSD, methadone. I like marijuana. I just couldn't handle it myself. I was looking for something else.
I myself think really the real reason I started smoking marijuana, man, because usually I was one of the younger dudes from my neighborhood. I wanted to be accepted. I was weak, scared, and from this it led to heroin, and it's just been an endless time of going to jail back and forth, man. I don't like it, and I hope nobody else will use this, not because of the fact that it's bad itself, but what it leads to, man. This is the way I feel. Well, I can only speak for myself, but I imagine some of the other dudes in here feel the same way I do about it, that some people are addictive prone to it. I mean, like myself, I can't handle it because, I mean, this is just the way I am. I use it for an escape. I did it before I've come in here. I hope when I go out that I've changed, in which I feel that I have, but I'm a small minority of people that we can't handle anything, you know, like my alcohol.
Yeah, I honestly didn't expect
weed because
for this to be actually as reasonable as it is.
To escape or anything else like that. And
With all the
more
funny
people
zombie
like me than
things, I mean,
feel.
that's kind of weird, but in general, actually, I don't disagree with a lot of this. It's not reefer madness. It's not that.
It's a personality thing where there's a lot of people that can go out there.
These are the files of the Research and Statistics Office of this Narcotics Rehabilitation Center. It's like out of 100 drawers, 95 of them are filled with file folders of people who have started on marijuana. The rest started on glue, pills, alcohol, and a few on heroin itself. A more accurate percentage is 78% of the inmates started on marijuana. However, what the computer doesn't say is
There's certain kind of people that will avoid taking care of business and will turn to grass when they get hung up and forget about everything else they're supposed to do when they're behind grass.
Marijuana doesn't, it's not addictive, but by using it, you don't do the things that you should do. For instance, like in school, you try to do the things that you have to do in school, but your mind is it's not all there. You understand?
Nobody can tell me what to do with my own body, what I can eat, drink, or smoke. This is a free country, and nobody has the right to take away my constitutional rights.
that could be a fact if you were the only one affected by what you do. But the Constitution and the laws that came out of it were designed to protect the individual and the group from irresponsible individuals, which is why there are speeding laws, building safety laws, pure food laws, pure drug laws, laws to protect your money, laws to protect children, laws to protect the aged, and even a law to protect you from taking your own life.
And the music in this is reminding me of the music from Jesus Christ Superstar. If you guys have seen that. Random side note, I don't think anyone will know what I'm talking about, but it's similar. It's there.
Law after law after law. All of them hopefully designed by a democratic government to protect both the individual and the group. From aspirin to the latest vaccines, the manufacture and control of all drugs is government supervised.
Actually, you know what really this music reminds me of? It sounds like
without
Obscured by
government
Clouds from Pink Floyd. It's definitely in that vein.
As a drug, marijuana comes under the supervision of the federal and state governments. It is the assigned work of the police to enforce the law. It is not something they dreamed up on their own. From the Ten Commandments to the Constitution, man has made laws to protect him from hurting himself. In the
Well, wait a minute. I thought the Ten
of
Commandments were supposed to be
society.
God's law. Man made the... seems a little bit
Doctors,
heretical.
psychiatrists,
Get some heretics up in
social
here.
scientists, chemists, biochemists. Basically, people who are not primarily concerned with the ethics or morality of the use of marijuana have provided their expert knowledge to our legislators, which in turn has caused them to pass laws to make marijuana illegal.
Yeah, that's really weird. Like,
Not as a matter
given
of
the time that this
morality,
film was
but
made,
as a
that
matter of
they're
health,
saying that the Ten
mental
Commandments
health,
were
period.
man created them. That seems strange.
I think it's terrible that the American people have accepted a law that makes smoking a harmless weed illegal. Marijuana is legal all over the world. There's no question about it. Marijuana should be made legal. Now! Now! Make marijuana legal!
There's no question about it. Many young people agree with that. Let's examine the facts. First, marijuana is not legal all over the world. It isn't legal in Mexico, Egypt, India, Great Britain, China, Japan, or any of the major nations in the civilized world. Nigeria is one of the latest countries to make marijuana illegal. Here, the pusher is given
Holy
a death
crap. Look, they're going to show this? Am I allowed to show this on Jesus? Okay. Wow.
So each year,
Brutal.
more and more teenagers commit crimes while up on grass. This is not the major problem. However, grass as a factor in crime must not be overlooked, especially in that percentage of unstable and aggressive types and those who wind up in trouble with the law because of something done while they are high on pot.
I mean, in real talk, I do think that we should maybe find some consistency here. If alcohol is legal, then I think probably marijuana should be legal. Or if you want to take the opposite approach, which is to say, well, if marijuana is illegal, then alcohol should be illegal. I'm not sure exactly how you can, square that. Maybe that's the liberal programming in me from years of being in the public school system, but I actually don't think that marijuana should be illegal. But, doesn't mean it's not bad, but I've got a beer sitting right next to me as well.
Too many average and decent teenagers smoke pot without committing crimes, except for the illegality of the sale, possession, or the use of it. So, why not make it legal? Why not bring it out in the open and make it legal in America? It's just that there are too many unstable people in America who would become emotionally dependent on marijuana and end up as non-functioning
Well, yeah, I mean,
weedheads.
prohibition was a disaster. I don't think that alcohol should be illegal. That's what I'm saying. I think that marijuana probably should be legal. If alcohol is legal, then marijuana probably should be. I mean, all the stuff that they're talking about here, you could say about alcohol. I mean, the amount of crimes committed while someone's wasted. Having been one of those people who's committed crimes while wasted.
If the acknowledged effect
Hey,
of marijuana
I did
is
my
much greater
time,
than
all right?
alcohol,
I got my shit together, but it's kind of the same argument, right?
and immature may turn to marijuana in even greater numbers than to alcohol, and eventually go to more dangerous drugs in the form of LSD, pills, and heroin.
Who, me?
Who, me?
Who, me?
Who, me? It's possible.
Who, me?
And that's the problem. You can never tell who is so stable and so emotionally secure that they will not become dependent on marijuana or other drugs for pleasure and full-time escape.
But yeah, that's the exact same argument can be made about alcohol. It's the
Nothing,
exact
babe.
same argument. It's
Nothing.
really kind of strange.
Years ago, only the criminal and socially deprived blew grass or used heroin. Today, the nicest people may be on grass.
Obviously, marijuana
that?
is not the same as heroin.
I
That's
took
a
it on a
weird
dare.
comparison.
But only kids take dares.
Man, everybody blows pot.
But everybody doesn't blow.
I don't want it, man. I don't want it.
Take a hit. No, I don't want it. I don't want it. No. Take a drag. It won't hurt you. Come on. You got
The first sign of character and emotional weakness is when you do things just because others are doing them.
When I'm high, it enhances my creativity.
Look at this guy.
This
Jeez.
is the same subject
That
matter
seemed-
and painter for
That
both
looks
men.
very inappropriate.
One was painted before going up on weed, and the other while high on weed. Can you see any significant creative difference?
When I'm high, it enhances my creativity.
The artist thinks he's being more creative, but do you see it in his work? To some extent, the very inhibited person may feel a greater freedom to be creative, but this doesn't mean he will have the necessary talent to be so.
It really makes me understand myself.
If you don't understand yourself when you're down, then there's no logical or scientifically accepted reason that you will when you're high. Besides, while you're up on grass, you may tell yourself only what you want to know, if you are lucky enough not to be on a bad trip and discover a frightening thing about yourself at that time.
Holy God. This is explaining to you that if you smoke weed, you'll be shot by a tranny with a Colt 45.
Let's face it, the reasons we've heard for blowing grass up to now are like an iceberg. What about the underlying reasons that are like the 90% of the iceberg you never see? The reasons below the surface that makes teenagers get so hung up on marijuana in spite of what their parents say and in spite of the big risk of being busted.
The world stinks. Adults keep making wars. Next war will probably kill everybody on Earth, including me.
Parents are hypocrites. They tell us one thing, but then they do another. Why don't they practice what they preach?
Why are adults
Well,
so
she does
hung
have
up with
beautiful
making
hair,
money?
though, so I'm inclined
That's
to
all
listen
they
to
think
her.
about.
School's a real bummer. Dull teachers, dull subjects. I just can't wait to get out.
Why can't we dress the way we want in school?
Sure, we're old enough to be drafted, but we're not old enough to vote.
Why are they always treating us like children?
Adults never have time to listen to us. And when they do, they just don't think what we're saying.
If adults like to make war so much, why don't they go and fight in them?
I'm better educated than either of my parents, but they don't listen to me.
How can I plan for the future with the draft waiting for me?
Why don't you come back some other time when everything is all right with us? And in the meantime,
Yeah,
I'll do what I
shit.
want to do here, and you do what you want to do where you live. Dig?
Why shouldn't I smoke grass? Why shouldn't I live now and have all the fun I can? If I don't get killed in the war or by the big bomb, All I can look forward to is making money like my father, and I know he isn't happy.
You know, sometimes I think it's like a war. Everyone over 30 is the enemy.
Over 30? Over 25.
Obviously, these are
Oh
things that
my
bug a lot
God!
of the
No one told me it was
But
Ringo
this time,
Starr
rather than
who
hear
was
from the
narrating this.
establishment, who run newspapers, radio, television, book and magazine publishing companies, political parties, and schools, let's hear from those other teenagers who aren't smoking pot.
Not all teenagers are on grass. I'm not, and my close friends aren't.
Every time someone wants to turn me onto pot, they tell me I'll discover myself. Well, I don't need that kind of crutch. Besides, I've never seen any potheads come up with any kinds of answers that help them cope with the kind of problems they have.
Oh man,
or I
Vic,
have.
were you around in the channel when I was doing the Swamp Camp meme into the Tyrone Chad meme? I've actually listened to that again and realized that, man, I can sound like a real cool 70s black guy. I don't know if you've seen that. I mean, it's still up there. You can go back to the Swamp Camp meme things, which I need to bring back. I need to bring that back. But anyway, that's neither here nor there, I guess. It just cracked me up. I'm a bad mamma jamma.
Teenagers of today are very idealistic, but we don't have definite ways of showing it. We're not old enough to vote, and older people are always telling us what to do. You can't blame us too much for fighting back. But I don't think taking drugs is fighting back. The most you can say for it is it's a sign of rebellion. But what we rebel about isn't changed one bit by getting high on marijuana, because when you come back down, nothing's changed.
I think that parents
Damn.
have got the best they
All right, let's take 2 seconds for this. I mean, everything she said was ridiculous, but riding bareback, and I mean, damn. This, I can tell you for a fact, that's wife material right there. And no, stop. I'm not saying anything sexual. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, what I'm saying is that this woman generally, I mean, probably, she knows how to handle shit. She knows how to handle the farm. She knows how to handle the animals. It's, damn, that's impressive. Well done. Well done.
But I don't think taking drugs is fighting back. The most you can say for it is it's a sign of rebellion. But what we rebel about isn't changed one bit by getting high on marijuana, because when you come back down, nothing's changed.
I think that parents have done the best they can. You can't expect them to know all the answers. Lots of us have had a better education than they have, but that doesn't prevent us from profiting from their experience.
I think you've got to be real immature to get hung up on pot. Mature people try to find solutions for their problems instead of trying to find new experiences.
I say that teenage is the time to put up or shut up, not to gripe and go on a trip inside yourself, but to have guts like our parents have, to go out every day and deal with the things in the outside world that bug them too.
Absolutely. Manifest destiny.
I know my parents
Pioneer
were too hung
spirit.
up on
Pioneer
making money
spirit.
and putting on a show for the neighbors, but that doesn't mean I have to put down money completely, because maybe now I don't need much, but when I get married, I'm going to have money for my family too. I just don't have to be as materialistic about it, that's all.
The world is changing, and some things are still too hard for our parents to understand. But blowing grass, well, that's really a cop-out, and it won't help our parents understand a darn thing.
School is like everything else. You only get out of it what you put into it. It's not a party. The way I look at it, I'm here to learn. Even if some of the subjects or the teachers aren't the greatest, I've got to make the best of it. I'm here for an education, and everything extra is just gravy.
There really is.
No, imagine it's put up or shut up. Put up or shut up. Oh, damn it. We were getting to the end, and I wanting to ramble about something. No, we're back. I got it back. Here we go.
I'm here to learn, even if some of the subjects or the teachers aren't the greatest. I've got to make the best of it. I'm here for an education, and everything extra is just gravy.
There really is a communication gap, but I think that if I have a better education and better life than my parents, I should make the first move to make that gap become smaller and smaller.
From what I've read and from what I've heard, there are millions of adults over 30 who don't like the establishment or going to war any more than we do. I honestly believe that adults are disappointed in us because it's always been expected of young people to try to change things, to make things better, or at least prepare to change things if we don't like them. Not to cop out on life through grass or other drugs.
No, not for me. I'm more interested in dropping into the world I live in than turning on, tuning in, and dropping out.
I don't like to criticize anybody, but I think that too many teenagers don't have too much purpose. It's like they don't have any goals. I don't mean that they should just be planning to make money and all that, but I think that trying to find something you'll enjoy doing for the rest of your life is the least you can do now, because everybody has to work, even girls before they get married, and even after they do.
I think too many teenagers traded in their idealism for a stick of weed. When I see some teenagers acting superior to those of us who don't need drugs to feel good or understand ourselves, I get real bugged.
My Ringo Starr's back.
Well, now, you've heard from both sides of the question. But what you do with your life is up to you. If you become a pothead, you risk blowing the most important time of your life, your teenage. That unrepeatable time for you to grow up and to prepare for being an adult that can handle problems and make something meaningful out of life. Or you have the choice to have the courage to see and deal with the world for what it really is. Far, far from perfect, but for you and for me, the only one there is. While it's true that some of you will actually go to the moon and perhaps other planets, it's also true that in a few short years, this world will be your establishment, and you will be the establishment. And what you do or don't do about it will be your scene. You're the generation with the brain power and the opportunity to do more for the human needs of this world than any other generation in history. Let's hope that your teenage children don't have too much criticism about what you did or didn't do because you were on pot.
Was that Sonny Bono, the Ringo Starr looking guy? I think we all expected a different Sonny. I could be wrong, but I think we were expecting something else.